Hey guys, and welcome to a ferocious clan war between the clans DBD and the Italian clan LP. Should be a really fun game. We do have 7 best of ones as these guys go back and forth, and it should be a really good fun time. We've had a little bit of a delay in the start here. We're just setting up a stream, and it's because we're doing a bit of a collaboration today. So not only are we facing LP, but some of their crewmates are also going to be hosting the tournament as well. I assume in Italian. I'm trying to get some links to their Twitch channels and so forth, so I can advertise for them as well. But we're just hopping in here. Hopefully we won't have too much lag, as we're going to have a few more people in than usual. We are doing a pick and ban system, but the way that's going to work in the best of one is someone from clan LP is going to pick and ban 2 factions, of course. They pick 1, ban 2, and then in the next round it'd be DBD doing the same thing instead. So up first we are going to have Dragaros. I'm going to butcher his name here. Dragoroso is what I'm going to say, up against Iltimar. And it should be a really good, fun game. They are actually on the wrong side of the scoreboards. So LP, of course, with I'm going to call him Dragoro for now, is obviously on the wrong side of the screen, but it's fine. And it looks like he's going to be picking Dark Elves, Banning, Skaven, and Tomb Kings. It's going to be rather interesting to see if these guys have done a little bit of research on each other, on who they like to pick and ban. And yeah, should be some good, fun stuff. How are you all doing today? Hello, Flex Prime. Oh, Aldalmo. Welcome, welcome. I swear you sent me a replay the other day, and I was going to cast it, and I can't find it. So, if you did send me a replay, please PM me on Discord the same replay if you could. That'd be perfect. For the Crooked Moon clan, says Flex Prime, I see his loyalties lie whoever goes greenskins. And what's up, Von Arcadius? A true champ of the people, and Petersburg will be playing today. Of course, he is also Geese Howard. Very excited to see him face an opponent later on. We've got a load of good games coming up. Looks like Emmanuel is I do not understand what you say, but I love it. It seems Italian, but it should be some good fun stuff. So I feel too lazy to swap factions, so it looks like we are having some Beastmen in action. Competitive Beastmen, who would have thought it? It's kind of funny, as they are considered one of the weakest factions, but DBD actually has 2 people who likes to play Beastmen quite aggressively, so it's always good. No, I haven't sent a replay. I sent a build for tomorrow's tourney. Oh, okay, that would explain it. That would explain it. For some reason I was like, oh, well, Delmo sent me a replay. I need to cast it, but I must have been mistaken. So, Dark Elves versus Beastmen. I mean, we're on a small map. It is Troll Country, which is going to be kicking us off today. Close quarters fighting. Oh, well, let's get up a screen blocker. I didn't realise that would happen. Boop. There we go. You get a lovely look of Mazdamundi. So I'll take that down when we load in. You guys are going to have to, like, scream at me. Perfect. So there is a link to the Italian Twitch channel, which is also streaming this. So if you guys speak Italian, you may enjoy watching his stuff as well. So hopefully that screen blocker has blocked the screen for you guys, so you can't see the Dark Elf build. I think that was my mistake because I clicked on the name. So I'll have to hide it. Barbecue, yes you did. Sorry, man. I've been super busy. But yes, I will get back to you as soon as possible, man. Yeah, DBD has a ton of Beastmen players. We've got a weird combination of players. We've got some Chaos players, some Beastmen players, High Elf players, Lizardmen players. We have a little bit of everything going on, which is quite fun, because it gives a bit of variety. Hi guys, can't stick around now, might be back later, but I hope for a good stream, folks. Thank you, Zach. Zach does a lot of good work as well in the Noob Hammer Discord, which is a really good place to try and learn new tactics, but also it's got experienced players and newer players helping each other out and just having a good time. I really need to post my Lizardmen like 3.5 hour breakdown video in there for anyone who wants to play. And yeah, play Lizardmen. Raptor, my boy! How are you doing, man? Long time no see. Hope you're all good in the hood. We need to get another Extreme Meme Team versus DBD showdown at some point. I'm also going to try and host some Clan Wars where I'm not involved, like as in, you know, DBD is not involved, because those have been the recent Clan Wars. We need to try and get some between other people as well. I'm also going to try and contact probably Darv, see if he's interested in hosting an event, because with DBD, and that way I can play as well, which should be really exciting. I am indeed drawing. Well, hope you have fun drawing, man. Hope it is something very badass. What's good against Bretonia? Oof. It used to be everything, but less so now. I still like Lizardmen there, despite the fact everyone thinks it's kind of become a lot more balanced. I still think if it's newer players, the Lizardmen have a huge advantage. But if it's an experienced Bretonian player, you're going to struggle a little bit. I got no idea what the Warhammer 2 online meta is like. Well, no worry, you're going to see... Well, the meta changes, like, literally every couple of weeks, because people build a counter build to something that's really meta heavy, and then it switches around. There's a big real heavy greenskin metaforce at the moment of trolls, goblins, and a ton of skirmish cavalry, particularly up against factions like Wood Elves, but someone will figure out a weakness for it, and then it just rotates around a little bit. What's up, Magnus? We will be seeing you later on as well. I'm all good, Raptor. I'm all good, man. I'm just very excited for some good games. What's good against Dark Elves, he says in chat. Just about to play them. Let's say Beastmen. Let's go for that. And pray you have a good time. But all around, guys, this isn't going to be like a super crazy competitive tournament. We are just here having fun. There's nothing on the line. So, looks like they both said they're ready. So let's take down the screen blocker now. You'll be able to see his build, but boop. If they were both locked in, it should be all good. Good to go. Next time I remember not to pop on that. Poison Ducky, hopefully Poison Ducky gets to play it as well. Oh, Poison Ducky's here, what's up, man? It's already in noob resources, hell yeah. Hell yeah, indeed. Everyone just saying hello, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Oh god, this is like some... I got raided by Legend of Total War once, and everyone just popped up saying the same thing, but I can't remember what it was. Or just saying cheese. And I was like, I'm so confused at who all these people are, but it was a really good time. Okay, so we've got rid of the screen blocker. That's the one reason I like hosting lobbies personally is because it takes out the threat of stuff like screen blockers. So we're gonna have to be on our little ducky toes today to try and make sure we don't do any of that nonsense, as we are going to be jumping in between lobbies today with the other caster as well. Good evening from Germany. Hi Ludwig, how's it going, man? Hope you're all good. I'm going to be doing some pretty exciting stuff actually. I think involving it was either a replay with you or 2v2 with you. It's probably from the biggest tournament. I had some game footage with you in that I was going to be playing. Beep boop, that was it. Beep boop everywhere. What's up, Zachary? How's it going, man? Wait, what? Notices Ducky, ignores Biggie. What was this? I try not to ignore as many people as possible. What does chat want me to play later? Palpatine, we know deep down what you want to play, and we know what chat wants you to play. There's a Dragon Ogre shag off with your name written all over him. Or Sigvald. People do love Sigvald at the moment as well. I'll be down to see some Papa Pete, Lizardman, or Dowie play though, for sure. Catch you later, Zach. Have fun drawing, man. Send me the end product. You can always feel free to post it on my Discord. There is an art section. So here we go, guys. Going to be kicking off. So for representing LP today, we do have the Dark Elves, and it looks like it's going to be a front line of Black Hawk Corsairs with hand bows, and this is a pick I don't see terribly often, but I think it could do absolute wonders here. Those hand bows are going to be fantastic at dealing damage to the lightly armoured Beastmen, and at the same time, Corsairs know how to handle a good old scrap in the dirt, and should be able to trade relatively cost-effectively up against big Beastmen light infantry. With a huge skirmish contingent as well, a load of Dark Riders in the back. I'm sure they're going to be positioned on the flanks, trying to lap around the enemy and counter-punch any Beastmen skirmish play. We have two Squadron Chariots, a cult classic amongst Dark Elf players. These bad boys do lovely anti-large armor-piercing missile damage from range, and they're still chariots, so they can pull their weight as well, pushing through the infantry. We have double Cold One Knights, going to be coming in with some glorious anti-large to help pin in large creatures. And up in the sky, we have a little hero blob. We have a Sorceress of Beasts, coming with a Manticore Summon and Amber Spear, interestingly. I wonder what they're going to use Amber Spear for up against the Beastmen. We'll have to check it out. And alongside her, we do have a basic Dreadlord. Oh, hell yeah. Coming in with the generic Lords. We have a Dreadlord coming in with the volley of Dark Arrows. And that's about it. So really fun. Going to be aggressive Dark Elf build. Now for the Beastmen, of course, it is also going to be aggressive. It is Beastmen. We have a ton of Goreherds and Goreherds with shield, Blackhorn Ravagers dotted all the way along the front line. This is going to be a bloody affair in the pits of Troll Country for sure. We have a ton of Centaurs, and Centaurs are something Beastmen players absolutely adore. It looks like we also have the Sons of Goros, which are the Regiment Renowned ones. We have Razor Goreherds. Looks like just the... was it one or two? No, we've got two. One at either flank. One unit of Ungor Raiders, a lone unit. And what a glorious hero blob. Hell to the yeah. Double Gorball. That is heavy metal stuff. So So two Gorbles are going to be bodyguarding for Malagor the Dark Omen. Again, another lord we don't get to see terribly often. He's coming in with Devolve and Viletide. He also has the icon of Vilification, increasing his leadership. Does he also have the negative leadership? He does. Something wicked comes this way. In Vanguard, we also have some Centaurs with throwing axes on this flank. Can be trying to put pressure onto the Squadron Chariots, but those Chariots can simply fall back and kind of kite the Centaurs into the friendly fire of the Dark Elf forces. We also have some Chaos Warhounds in the Vanguard. So basically, it's going to be a big old mush in the middle, and what's really going to decide it could come down to how the two players combat their skirmish phases. And it looks like both have plenty of tools. I'm so happy for this. This is already MVP. Look at this double Gorble. Hell yeah. I actually really love Malagor's model. He's just such a badass, but unfortunately, he's not super competitive. But both players going for kind of off-meta Lord picks. Should be good stuff. Neckbert is my son. Interesting to know. As in, like, you sunned his style of play, or he's actually your son? Too many Zacks. So, looks like the boys ready to go. Good luck, have fun. Muting stream now. Good luck, have fun. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Oh, yeah, wrong button. Cool. Balance power is actually already slightly in favour of the Beastmen here, which is a little worry. And they do, of course, outnumber their Dark Elf brethren, but that's what likely to be expected. Elves, in general, like being outnumbered. It encourages them to do greater feats of heroism. And it looks like all the Centaurs have kind of pushed up now. So the Beastmen still rearranging their positioning where possible. And it's just going to be the heroes left with the Razorgore Herds in his own deployment zone, looking to close that gap as quickly as possible. Now, Dark Elves can bring a lot of ranged firepower, so perhaps this is the thinking behind the Beastmen player. But again, no need to mess around with all that rubbish back in your own deployment zone when you can get up in the face of the enemy straight away. And this is going to be insane, guys. We'll stop the Hambos from having too much of a say in the game, as they may get shot a little bit. Looks like some of them actually falling back here to start with for some reason. They need to push and get a little more aggressive. So Malagor is going to take some big shots here, which is to be expected, and this flying goon squad could be really tough for him to handle. Looks like Centaurs are starting to push up this left-hand side as well, and in comes the flank reserve. The Sons of Gorus going to be getting a charge here on the Cold War Knights if they spot them. Both these foes just kind of vibing next to each other, but in come the Sons of Gorus, and that's going to be a great charge for them. Take the Warhounds, charge in the rear here, and really break up this section of the battlefield. Apart from that, Dark Riders are charging headlong into the enemy, trying to counter-punch at these Centaurs with throwing axes. They should probably take this fight. They have the support of the Razorgore Herds, and they'll be able to whittle down at these Dark Riders. But in the back, this could be a disaster. Malagor has been left alone. If we know one thing about Malagor is he's super squishy, and the Dreadlord is going to be absolutely pounding him down. However, elsewhere, the Beastmen are really starting to romp riot, shutting down Dark Riders with good Razorgore play, as well as pushing off the Squadron Chariots. But a lot of the Dark Elves are simply going to fall back and kite, buy their time as long as possible. And in comes the mighty double Gorble bodyguard, who are left a little bit napping, trying to catch this Dreadlord now unawares. And if Malagor can pin him in place, perhaps there is hope left for Malagor's survival. But it looks like the Dreadlord simply going to pull up in the skies. And this is a lot of resources just kind of left down here, not doing it too much. Looks like we are going to see an Amber Spear try to tank Malagor. Boom! What an assassination attempt as Cold War Knights now feasting on Ungor Raiders. This is a hot and furious affair. And after a nice start from the Beastmen, it looks like the Dark Elves are in a dominant position. Black Ark Corsairs simply kiting back against Gore Herds, although Sons of Gorus can get in there and say hello if they need to. Gore Herds as well trying to push the enemy back on all fronts, although it looks like most of the Dark Elves did manage to survive that early push. And there's a couple of Razorgores and Centaurs who need to come back to the fray after expertly chasing off some enemy troops. So Malagor, unfortunately, didn't get too much value, has been sniped out. Really lovely counter pick here by the taking the Dreadlord, as he can simply just float above Malagor and finish him at his heart's content. Double Gorbles, though, going to still be a bit of a problem. With those giant cleaving axes, they are ripping asunder the Dark Elf nobility here. And yeah, those Cold War Knights not having too good of a time. Razorgore piggies are now going to be headlessly charging like angry chickens into the Squadron Chariots, getting kited and shot down. And they're going to be a big problem for the rest of this Beastmen build to deal with. However, over on the left-hand side, it looks like the Beastmen are fighting back, starting to gain some of the mobility advantages that they had at the start of the battle. More Dark Riders have been dealt with, and now they can use these Centaurs to, I don't say pull these Centaurs who are currently shooting into combat up against the Black Ark Corsairs, pinning them in place, allowing the Gore Herds to get in there and do the dirty work. But that lack of leadership will really hurt the Beastmen, who are a low leadership faction. Over on this far side, Gore Herds are darting in now to the rear of the Black Ark Corsairs, who already have their hands full up against some really, really angry Razor Gores. That is going to be a winning situation for the Beastmen you would expect. In the back line, Black Ark Corsairs again surrounded by Centaurs, and the fight back is on. Sons of Goros are incredibly wounded at this point though, very low health and leadership, so they could well flee from the field. And we have a glorious Manticore summon, being left quite late in the game before you pop these. Can be a really good way of using them. One, you can assassinate weakened targets quite happily, and it helps push the balance power more and more in your favour. And we can see the Dark Elves are currently in the ascendancy. Centaurs with thrown axes need to get involved a little bit more as well, kind of come back into the main fight, as the Gorbals are now starting to struggle. They're being kited, shot, and having to duel Manticores. And yes, a Gorbal can, handle himself in combat like this, but not when a bazillion Black Orc Corsairs with handbows are shooting in and doing some massive damage to boot. But one problem the Beastmen are going to have is some of their units are rampaging, and he cannot control which direction they go in. This is a very, very close fight. As soon as that Manticore disappears, balance power will be relatively even, but this Gorbal has been forced to kind of fight alone in this situation, is really struggling now. So he probably wants to pull him back, allow the Manticore just to waste itself up against the Razor Gores, or pound it down with the double Gorbal as quickly as possible. A ton of ammunition has been left on top of the Dreadlord, so you can do a little bit of skirmish, and in the distance we do have some Squadron Chariots who are now being microed back into the battle from the Dark Elves. Looks like Gore Herds darting over once again to try and support. Sons of Goros still somehow fighting. These guys get pretty drunk and they love a good scrap, so they're going to be coming in, surrounding the Squadron of Chariots and doing some disgusting work. These guys do have pretty decent armor-piercing damage, although it looks like they are going to leave the Squadron of Chariots alone. I think that's a fight they probably should have taken, although they are wavering at this point. But it looks like he's really trying to isolate all the infantry pockets where possible. Now, this Gorbal is probably doomed. Yeah, the Dreadlord's simply going to sit on top of them and snipe him down with that pesky little crossbow. This Gorbal has zero chance of coming back into the battle if the Dark Elf player is on his micro. And now he can simply sit above this Gorbal and finish him off. What the Beastmen need to do now is take away all the ground forces. Of course, we are playing tournament rules, so these Squadron of Chariots will have to engage in combat. Although it looks like the Black Orc Corsairs currently going down here. And in come the Squadron of Chariots. They can be feasting quite happily on the Gore Herds. They can chase these guys off the battlefield, just buy more and more time for that Dreadlord up in the sky to really snipe out the Beastmen infantry. How many parfin shots do you actually have? He's obviously getting tired of being absolutely blitzed here. So down low, the Centaurs with thrown axes trying to throw up at the Dreadlord, but are struggling. A big fat amber spear comes down the line, wrecking Beastmen left, right, and centre, including that Gorbal, who is really starting to struggle. Although the Squadron of Chariots are pretty much done at this point. And is there anything left on the field for the Dark Elves? There's these Chariots who need to engage as quickly as possible. Although, no, we actually have some Black Orc Corsairs shooting in as well. So the Dreadlord can continue to fly at the moment. And it looks like he has rather skillfully here picked away at the Beastmen leadership, and I think this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for the Beastmen forces. Sorcerer with Beast is going to be jumping into the back of the Centaurs with thrown axes, who are going to try and countercharge the Dreadlord at this point, which is maybe their only way back into this, as Razor Gores are currently rampaged, but not that rampaged it would seem. They're just standing still, which is an annoying little bug, I suppose, that can happen when units go out of control. They can end up just kind of not really moving and doing anything at all. Gorbal has returned to the field, but not for long, I dare say. Only 5 leadership is going to mean it's a bit of a struggle for him. Centaurs with thrown axes doing some nice damage to the Dreadlord, though, who should be able to get back up into the skies as army losses does kick in. It looks like the pointy-eared princes, the Dark Elves, are going to claim the first victory of the day. The sneaky pineapple is here, always. Happy to see the boys LP find DBD. What's up, Ronan? How's it going, man? I assume that's who they were talking to. And when they said the sneaky pineapple lord. It is kind of well known in the community that Ronin does enjoy good pineapple on pizza. Anyway, good stuff by both these players. That Dreadlord being a real MVP, managing to snipe out Malagor and both the Gorbals. 6,600 damage is crazy on such a cheap Lord. Also getting some lovely damage value. Squadron of Chariots, one of them struggled a little bit. The other one did manage to gain some chevrons, doing some really nice work and getting 9.5 damage dealt. The Knights struggled a little bit more. They kind of got ambushed by the fast-moving Beastmen forces, but it was real that Black Ark Blackheart Corsair core there, pulling back, kiting the enemy and picking at the leadership of the Beastmen, and then making them suffer where they struggle the most, which is in the morale department. Malagor, yeah, unfortunately just kind of got picked apart. Double Gobbles did good trying to hold the line, but they were counter-picked here by that glorious Dread Lord. Always good to see lords and units you don't often get to see, put in too much work. Sons of Gortaway, real MVP though for the force of the Beastmen, trying to fight back as much as possible, doing some really lovely work. Oh no, we may have a rule break. So, how many Parthian shot units are there? These guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does the Dreadlord count as Parthian? Is the question as well. Cool. So we're going to pop out of this and see what the rule break is. Give me 2 6. I shall check the rules, but I'm pretty sure that is a break. I think now you can only have 6. Let's pop up the rules. Sorry about this, guys. It's going to take a little while. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves. Let's go tournament rules. Battle rules. There we go. Opening that up now. What's up, Walk the Salt? How's it going, bud? Dreadlord is not 360. That's fine. We'll have to check quickly. But I think... Oh, God. So many rules. Okay. Oh God, where does it say? Yeah, okay. So unfortunately that is a bit of a rule break. So we can replay if the guys are happy to do so. We can replay if you both want to. Up to you though, because I mean, if I'd rather have them replay than just kind of give the points there to the Beastmen, but we'll see. Thank you, Geese, as well, for trying to aid me. My God, I'm such a mapper when it comes to trying to find stuff. So we'll see if they're down for replay. What's up, Osakoron? I'm going to butcher your name, sorry. Osokon. There we go. I think you're playing later today, aren't you? Hopefully up against Geese Howard. Yeah, so you're only allowed 6 360 firing arc units now. And of course we have the Blackheart Corsairs as well as the Squadron Chariots. Not good with you. Let's see. Depends. He might not want to play again, but if he does, we can simply start again. First game rule break, shake my head. It happens, it happens. It's like a small rule break as well. I don't know if it would have made that much of a difference. I think he pretty much already won. You take out... I mean, if you take out a Squadron Chariots, actually the game does go pretty different. But you take out one of these Hambos and replace it with some infantry, I think the result would have been relatively similar because that earlier snipe on Malagor the Mighty. But we'll have to see if the players want to do the replay. If not, of course, the game will go to the mighty DBD there for the rule break. 69 viewers, perfectly balanced as all things should be. It'd be a cool match, of course. I'm down for a replay, of course. Up after this as well, we do have a Black Fawn up against Elegost will be in the next round. And then we've got a load more cool competitors to come. So it's going to be 7 games in total. Let's see what he wants to do first. Make sure they haven't messaged me on Discord. Nope. Okay, I'll just let him think on it. And I've got a load of invites as well on Steam. Boop. And 2 messages. Yeah, thank you, Poison Ducky, for pointing out the rule break as well and messaging me about it. And Kafka's just said, hey man, really nice work with your Lizardman guide. Thank you, dude. I'm not sure if you're in stream right now, but I'll reply to him afterwards in case. It better be now, Ronan. It better be a good match, or I'll be angry. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying. That was an awesome first game, so it's going to be great to see it again, to be honest. I mean, if they really want, we can just redo the whole builds, because otherwise what's going to happen is they know each other's builds, and Dragor also can just take away this unit and add in, you know, another one. Because I think the tournament rules go that he would take out a unit and replace it with the gold, and then Ilmatar can just rebuild his stuff. But if you are both happy with it, go for it. Cool. QQ. Also, guys, a massive shout out. I want you guys as well to scream at him in chat that the real MVP of this entire tournament and this entire stream is actually Park Map. Hopefully he's there in chat, but Park Map is the one who organised this entire event. I basically did nothing. I'm just here chatting to you guys and having a good time with you. Park Map organised everything, sorted out the matchups, and was a kind of a liaison. Is that the right word? Basically, you know, our negotiator between the two clans to actually get this stuff sorted out, which is yeah, super helpful for me. It takes pressure off and allows me to actually kind of set up the matches and all that other stuff instead. So Park Map is the real MVP. You better scream at him, quack at him, angrily quack, happily crack, do everything. Park Map MVP. Yeah, get a chant going. Cool, and we'll replay the first match. You guys get an extra game. You get a free game. That is some fantastic values there. Parky is always here. He's always here, always watching. There's a really funny like meme. I don't know if it's actually like a real phobia, but there's like a phobia that there's a duck watching you, and I feel like the players must have that when I'm doing these like live stream tournaments because they know somewhere deep down I'm watching them. If you want, can I readjust build in that case though? Yeah, cool. Yeah, so yeah, the Beastmen get to rearrange their build and kind of plan, I suppose. They get the advantage because of the rule break. It makes sense. It makes sense. Park Map, Park Map, Park Map. Yes. Park Map has 12.4k money value. No worries, dude. It's a pleasure to stream it. Store your Dragon Ball Z game, Poison. Ooh, is Poison Ducky pin out Dragon Ball Z content on his YouTube channel? Hopefully he is. Hopefully he is. I've only ever seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged, so I have like a loose understanding, I suppose, of the story. But the one Team 4 Star did. So it's kind of like a comedy, but I think you get the majority of the story across. But Vegeta is by far like my favorite player. Had 0 build. Oof. Moral high ground. Awesome. So good luck to these lads. Here we go again. Well done, Park Map. Indeed. Indeed, David. Nice to see you here as well, buddy. We'll have to get you back in for the next clan war. I believe you played in the last one, I want to say. Falcon is Goku confirmed. Yeah, I feel like every time you see Falcon get beaten in a tournament, he comes back and crushes the next, like, 20. So yeah, the more damage you do to Falcon, the harder he hits you back. But yes. I've actually been playing chess recently, guys. That's the level of nerdiness I have reached. I started watching some, like, chess on YouTube, and I was like, this is actually interesting, I'm going to give it a go. I'm currently playing my friend on a game where we have like 3-day limit on making moves against each other, and he's far better player than me, and it is the most stressful thing I've ever done. Like, at the moment, I have like, obviously because of COVID and stuff, that's stressful, work stressful, but I'm like, no. Of all the stressful things, chess is the worst one. Which is meant to be some fun. Goose is Freezer. I could see Goose as Freezer. And here we go. So, we're not going to go too much over the Dark Elf build, because it's going to be pretty much the same stuff. He's literally just traded out a unit here and added in the Hellebroni Regiment of Renowned Dreadspits. But for the Force of the Beastmen, what have they done? What have they changed? It looks like even more Centaurs into the sunset. So we are going to have double Razorgore herds once more, as well as the Chaos Warhounds with poison. And then it's just Centaur City. We have bucket tons of Centaurs, some with great weapons, some standard. We also have the Sons of Goros once more, the MVPs of the last game for the Beastmen. This is a unit that I really adore and think is actually quite amazing. That magic damage can come in quite niche. The Guardian isn't particularly useful, I don't think, unless they're going to be rolling around with a Chariot character, because normally, you know, you're going to have Morgan the Shadowgave or Malagor, and these guys simply aren't going to be near him too much. But they do have Rowdy, so that perfect figure helps him out late game for sure. For the Leadership Corps, we once again, and we don't have our favourite beastie lord this time. We have Morga the Shadowgave. Certainly the most competitive pick, of course, coming in with all his pesky summons. We also have a Brave Shaman of Beasts, coming with a Manticore summon and Flock of Doom. So more of a traditional Beastmen character core this time. Once again, we have the lovely Vanguard, but it is going to be less on the infantry department, with Ungor Spearherds as well as Gore Herds dotted all the way along. And in the central pocket, we do have the Destroyers of Drakwold here. Regiment of renowned Ungor Spearmen, come with anti-large and poison attacks. They, of course, have that nice little bonus versus large as well, with their pesky spears. These guys looking like they are really rowdy and ready for a good old fat scrap up against some Dark Elves. Unfortunately, they're going to be kind of sacrificial fodder for the most part, and it's going to come down to the Centaur play. This is a bucket ton of micromanagement for the Beastmen to use. Now, a bonus they are going to have is that Morga will not be sniped the same as Malagor. He's just far, far too much tankier. Has regeneration, can do those nasty summons. The Brave Shaman with Beast, though, may get sniped out. I'm actually a big fan of the Dreadlord pick all round here by the Dark Elves, but we are ready to rumble. There's no halberds in chess, Raptor. Why you playing? Yes, Raptor known for his love of depth guard polearms. I've been trying to get a replay recently where the Regiment of Renowned depth guard polearms really carry their weight. I've had a few games where they did good value, but the games weren't great, you know, particularly great showcases, I suppose. So I haven't cast any just yet. Ready? Good luck, have fun. So enjoy, lads. Enjoy. We'll get this kicked off. What's up, Sarge71? Hi. I believe you are playing later today. If you are the same Sarge, I think you are. So once again, Beastmen basically starting by getting shot in the face by a ton of Hambos, and the Dark Elves going to be falling back behind their newly formed and bright shiny spear wall. Centaur's going to start getting a little bit aggressive here, but we're going to have some counter-punch play. Dark Rider's going to be trying to bunch in these Centaurs where possible, allowing the Black Ark Corsairs to shoot over them and do some lovely damage. Centaurs have managed to crash into the Black Ark Corsairs, however, as Rhaegors do push up. An Overcast Amber Spear punches that Brave Shaman directly in the face, nearly breaking his morale, get him down to about half health. That Dreadlord's going to have an absolute whale of a time. Just start summoning Manticores now. Just try to get some value where possible. Gore Herds as well as Razor Gore Herds going to counter punching at the Dark Elf Cavalry where they can, and the Ungor Spearmen have managed to overwhelm the Black Ark Corsairs, with more Centaurs starting to wrap around the flanks at this point. Sons of Goros are well and truly in the back line, feasting upon the Dark Riders, but there's a really nice central pocket for the Dark Elves that, due to good micromanagement here of the Dark Elf player, has managed to keep these 3 units online, and they are whittling down the Sons of Goros with deadly efficiency. Chaos Warhounds are in the back trying to help mop up these units, but they themselves are starting to break and rout, and they're very close to the board edge here. We do have a Feral Manticore summon trying desperately to rescue its master, as the Brave Shaman of Beast is running for the hill. And at least at this point, the Dark Elf Lord is kind of away from the main battlefield, which is going to favour the Beastmen at this moment. Razor Piggies have surrounded the Dark Riders and Cold One Knights, and they are going down very quickly. This is going to allow the Beastmen to start swarming the back line. And here we have our first Chaos Spawn summon coming in and really going to start pile driving into the Black Orc Corsairs, I would assume, as the mobility game this time has been heavily won in the back lines by the Beastmen, although the Dark Elves over on the far side doing a far better job trying to catch these guys in some nasty crossfire for the Centaurs, doing some good damage to them. We have an overarching view of the battlefield. It's an absolute mess, as to be expected. The Dreadlord is going to be able to escape the first Feral Manticore, and it looks like the Brave Shaman about to say hello to death as the Sorcerer Beast probably flies over for another Amber Spear. In fact, no, is going to be darting over here to go in close quarters. Brave Shaman probably going to get forced off here. I would just try and summon another Manticore if he has the Winds of Magic. That is a big if. It looks like he is going to be going down. His main job today has just been simply distract the Dark Elf characters. But that only works for so long. So look, the Beastmen got up ahead of steam quite aggressively to start with, but are now starting to slow down. That tends to happen with Beastmen quite a lot, even with this Chaos Spawn summon on the battlefield, although there's a Feral Manticore one as well. In the distance, it looks like Beastmen slowly starting to mop up troops. Centaurs desperately trying to catch Squadron Chariots where possible, and Black Ark Corsairs are kind of all over the place, just fleeing for their lives. This unit of Great Weapons wants to come in as well, try to pressure in the Squadron Chariots. They've got them in a nice pincer right now if both of these Centaurs do try to collapse in. It looks like they may be able to escape for now. In the central pocket, it looks like the Beastmen have emerged victorious, with just a Feral Manticore left remaining, and the Hellebroni, they got called up for a late fight here, and they certainly were not prepared, getting destroyed by the destroyers of Drakwold. Feral Manticore hopping on top of Morga, just trying to get some free damage in while he still can. Over on this flank, Beastmen just roving happily, chasing down troops and force them off the battlefield. But despite this, balance power is still dead even, because on the other flank, Dark Elves are winning quite happily, and both Squadroners are still alive, which is pretty huge. But one big negative for them, apart from this one having lost a model, is they're running pretty low on ammunition at this point. Definitely don't want to waste it on routing units, kind of get in there and try to hack down some of the, more fresh fellas. So Hellebroni will be chased off here, and the Beastmen are starting to form up in the forest, just using their mobility to try and chase down the Cold One Knights and other such units. Morga the Shadowgave is on his own, but again, he is no Malagor. He's not going to get sniped out by the Dreadlord quite so easily, so he's quite happy just to trot around, take the damage, and fall towards the tree line. Just looks like they were saying good luck, have fun, which is always good to see. Gorehoods are starting to pull back, and yet all of the Beastmen were rushing over to try and deal with this threat. But now they're going to have to turn around and start to engage. It looks like they're just vibing at the moment in the trees, trying to recuperate their forces. Squadron Chariots are doing some lovely damage, and here we go. The Beastmen are starting to split into an awesome form of attack. We have Centaurs going one way, Piggies going the other, looking to try and surround the remainder of the Dark Elf force. At this point, he probably just wants to focus the infantry down, get rid of these two Black Ark Corsair units. Squadron Chariots are going to have to start to engage in combat because they have no ammunition. And if we look around the battlefield, there is nothing else left for the Dark Elves. Of course, the powerful Hero Corps and a Manticore summon coming in at a clutch time could perhaps save them here. Now, the Hambos can still kite this because they have the ammunition. They can just shoot and sit back, allowing the Squadron Chariots to cycle charge in and out. But the Squadron Chariots going a little bit too deep here, getting surrounded by Beastmen, Warhounds, slowed down, and yeah, the Squadron Chariots are going to be routing. Now, the Feral Manticore causes terror, so he may be able to break the leadership of this force, but a lovely, well-timed call of violence has gone down by the Beastmen, summoning up all the morale they have to fight that little while longer. It might even be worth going after the Feral Manticore just to try and get it off the field. So we have the Destroyers of Drakwold coming in for a little flanking attempt. And these Black Ark Corsairs like, nope, we're not about this life. And they start instantly fleeing from the Goreherds, who do try and chase them off down the hills. And most of the Centaurs are kind of tied up at the moment, so there is nothing to catch them. Squadron Chariots dragging their wheels over the dead and dying Beastmen. The Centaurs are in hot pursuit, trying to chase them down and pin them in where possible. Destroyers probably want to turn and engage us at this point. The Centaur mass may enable them to pin in the Squadrunners and help finish them off for good. You can see their health just being absolutely deleted. This entire time, Black Ark Corsairs are going to get in fantastic value, just firing in wave after wave of bolts into this main force. Down the Squadron Chariots go, though, which is a big loss all round for the Dark Elves. Feral Manticore shall be disappearing as well relatively soon. And with this, it looks like it's certainly in the Beastmen's favour. I don't think the Dreadlord's going to be able to duel Morga the Shadowgave, but he still has the advantage of having a caster. Black Ark Corsairs have been caught by the Chaos Warhounds, but they can simply turn and kill these guys. Unsupported Chaos Warhounds, of course, won't be able to deal with the Black Ark Corsairs, especially if the Dreadlord's coming in support, although the Goreherds are coming over to say hello as well. Dark Elves desperately trying to kite this out and get value where they can, sniping in with their large creatures, or their characters at least, while pulling back with the Black Ark Corsairs left, right and centre, although all the ammunition will eventually wear thin, and there's still some heavy hitters left for the Beastmen in the form of the Razor Gore herds, as well as Morga the Shadowgave. Although the Centaurs just finished off, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dead from one volley from the mighty Dreadlord. Only 19 kills on him, but once again sniping out key targets. The Sorceress of Beast needs to be really careful here. She can be poisoned by Morga, slowed down and then surrounded by the Piggies. If I'm this Dreadlord, I'm just shooting these Razor Gore herds, trying to break them off the field before chasing them off with the Sorceress of Beasts. And in this instance, Black Ark Corsairs are starting to run very, very low on ammunition at this point. It's going to be a slow end game here. Centaurs in the distance, in fact the Sons of Goros, only 2 remaining. The 2 favoured sons, I'm sure, are shattered away. More Centaurs with great weapons have just fled the battlefield. Balance power is in favour of the Dark Elves once again at this point, using his mobility to his advantage, coming in with these big scary monsters. Well, I suppose it's a Pegasus, but it's still relatively scary in the grand scheme of things. And breaking off the Gore Herds can simply chase these guys off. Wants to take off that fire at will, though the Black Orc Corsairs do not want to waste shots into routing units. Although it looks like they are now out of ammunition for good. So there's going to be a last-ditch stand. Can anything left alive kill Morga? That's going to be the real question now. Cycle Charger may be able to break him. I'm assuming he's used up both his Chaos Spawn summons. We only saw one, at least on the screen I did. Come down here. I'd like to introduce you to my Axe Elfin. Looks like he is getting into character. Although does Morga have an axe? Nope, he's got a club and a pimp claw, so he's going to slowly move in here, and it's going to be a big old grind now of going up against the Black Orc Corsairs, trying to delete them where possible. You can see the Beastmen trying to whittle their way round to get a cheeky little rear charge in, but Destiny wants to engage before these big creatures do come back. Razorgore herds have been forced off once more, and this is huge because these guys pack a punch. That's still 9 Razorgore models, can do a ton of damage. Now, I think this has been a mistake from the Dark Elves. Get in here, and, oh, actually, real nice shot, just as I say that, but I think they need to be cycle charging at this point, trying to break up the Beastmen forces and isolate Morga, because otherwise he's going to be dropping these buffs, these call to violences, keeping them in the fight, and tearing through these Black Orc Corsairs. Another Gore Herd with shield is starting to run over, and it looks like the Dark Elf forces have now committed to the glorious melee engagement. Look at the blood as it does wet in with the snow, and it's going to be scary stuff, and in comes the Chaos Spawn. I thought he was keeping one clutch for the end game. That is absolutely huge. The characters desperately trying to flee from this situation. Now, the Dreadlord is going to be surrounded. He's trying to drill a pretty decent melee combatant in Morga, as well as Unbreakable Chaos Spawn saturating on top of this. Really big clutch play by the Beastmen. Razorgore herds are darting over once more. It looks like the Sorcerer Beast is trying to hunt them down where possible. Looks like we have some glorious arrow work as well from our fellow caster there, trying to show that the Beastmen units should probably fall back maybe. But anyway, they are coming in for a nice round. Black Orc Corsairs will probably be butchered now, as they're going to be trying to flee desperately through the Gore Herds. Many of them shall be cut down and probably shatter them. And I think this is going to go in the favour of the Beastmen now. It depends how well these Chaos Spawn can do and how much damage they can do at this point. So also the Beast, I think realistically needs to stand and fight this. She is falling back up into the skies, but it looks like the Dreadlord is going to be going down at this point. Perhaps trying to fall back to save him, but she'll have to engage anyway because of attacking rules. And yeah, the poor Dreadlord is getting the snot kicked out of him at this point, and this is going to be game over. Even if he does manage to recover and the Chaos Spawn dissipate and disappear, Morga the Shadowglaive is just going to be far too powerful for a half-assed sorcerer and a beat-up Dreadlord here. Razorgore Piggies still darting at to and from, just pinning in troops, doing some lovely damage, and the Dreadlord is just not having a good day whatsoever. His leadership is back up to normal, and it looks like the Chaos Spawn have gone. Balance power, though, is still heavily in favour of the Beastmen at this point. Some of their units are starting to shatter and fall off, however, which is pretty scary stuff. The Morga's keeping the Dreadlord in his claw at the moment, doing some lovely damage. And if he can simply break the Sorceress of the Beast at this point, it is game over. Might be worth switching his target priority onto her and allowing the Gore Herd to try and drag the rest down. And it looks like that is going to be game, so it is going to be a victory to the Beastmen instead. Brilliant play by both players there, fantastic stuff, and DBD will be taking the first game. Commiserations, though, to Dragoroso. He played a fantastic game and won the first one. Unfortunately, a mistake with the rules, army limits kind of cost him there, but still fantastic set of games all round to both players. Morga, certainly a better pick than Malagor. You can see he got great value and was a real solid backbone to the build. The Brave Shaman Beast just didn't really do anything, unfortunately. Kind of got forced off, but that was to be expected at this point. Apart from that, along the board, just pretty spread out kills and damage. Sons of Goros once again performing rather well. And oh yeah, good stuff. We've already kind of done an analysis for the most part, but solid build, damage kind of spread across the board. Squadron Chariots, once again, fantastic damage dealt. 8,400 on this unit and 1,000 damage value on the other. They certainly did very well. Unfortunately for him, the Dark Riders just didn't really have any good targets. Like, yeah, we can dive into the infantry, which is what they're designed for, and help buy time for the crossbowmen, but then the Centaurs just pummeled them back so badly. However, all the Corsairs got, well, not all of them, 2 of them okay, but the other 2 absolutely fantastic. 1,000 damage value here, 1,200 on the other unit. Once again, the Dreadlord, though, being a great pick all round. So it looks like the guys have left. GG's. Oh, Vex is still here. Next map. I think someone sent it to them. I'll have to look up what it is, but I think it's Altdorf Outskirts. So let's quickly check the next map. I think we sent them over earlier, but they may have been lost, of course. It is Altdorf Outskirts. Oh no, my game crashed. Oh. Oh no. Sorry guys, my game crashed. I will load it back up. I didn't even realise. I'll just chat with you guys until then. Victory for the Children of Chaos, indeed. Who is DBD? You're DBD, Magnus. It's your clan, bud. Where's Kazrek? Oh no. No Kazrek, unfortunately. What's up, Scourge of the West? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're all good in the hood. GG's for sure. GG, I need some rest, man. That was a heavy micro build. Heavy micro. So, let's hop into the next one, which should be Black Fawn versus Elegost. Which, there it is. Perfect. So sorry if your screen goes black for a while, guys. It should be back up in just a second. It's going to be all this jumping in and out of lobbies may crash the game a little bit, unfortunately. Hey. So. Oh, it always shows me someone's build. It's so annoying. Let's make sure. I am back up right now. You can see stuff. Please let me know if you cannot. So. DBD. I'm going to be up 1-0 here. And we're going to have to pop up a shot blocker. Actually, I don't feel like any of these guys are going to, like, try to screen cheat. It doesn't make any sense. We kind of all know each other. Whoa, is that a Guardians of the Galaxy reference? Let's open that and hope we don't crash when we cut out of it. Hi there. So Elagos has played on the channel before. He played in a previous clan war. So I believe LP is formed up of ex-members of NK, which is a clan war DBD had a while ago, and they kind of joined in with LP, which is kind of cool stuff. But it looks like everyone is here. Blackthorn has indeed gone greenskins up against Elegost and his Norscan forces. We are going to be here on Altdorf Outskirts. What are your predictions? ALDB, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're all good, man. You made a really funny comment earlier, which made me laugh. ALDB, also known as the second coming of Grombrindle, does love a Slayer build here and there. I see some good stuff, hopefully. You should have tried booby games. You never know with mods these days. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know if I've joined the conversation at the right point. That's CLL, damn it! Damn it! So many clans! Okay, CLL formed with LP, is that correct? I swear we played Elegost on the channel in a clan war before. Maybe my mind's just frazzled. I'm a humble but simple duck. You're correct, this isn't Rome Total War. Battleland. Does it say it's Rome Total War underneath? It might do. I can check. Maybe I've put in the wrong game. No, it should be Total War Warhammer 2. It says on my screen at least. So, fingers crossed. Hello! Arcadius Panko, how are you? Cool, looks like they're ready. So let's quickly, before they're ready up, get rid of the screen blocker and hop back in. Phew. Look, have fun. Yeah, hope you're doing all good, guys. We've got nearly 100 people watching. I hope you're having a good time and enjoying the stream. If you are, feel free to give it that big old thumbs up. It does help push it out to more people so we can drag them into the Total War Warhammer universe, kicking and screaming. As Sergeant Spaghetti, ALDB, you mean Grombrindo, exactly. And yeah, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. We do Total War Warhammer content every single day. We're trying to look to do some more like of the bigger videos as well soon, in the form of guides and other analysis, if people are interested in that type of stuff as well. And yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can. I have a Patreon. There's a link in the description down below. We also have, like, what's it called? Like the YouTube chat thingy? What's that called? Super chat, we've got that. And we've got YouTube membership tier lists and all that kind of crazy stuff. So feel free to do whatever you want. Eric, hi man, nice work, thank you. I appreciate it a lot there. We've got a lot of good feedback on the Lizardmen faction guide. It was slightly long, I'm not going to lie. It was like 3.5 hours. It took so long to render that thing because I'm super basic with a lot of the tech stuff and had to edit it on YouTube, which means I can just basically take chunks out, and it took nearly a day to render the whole thing. But it's pretty in-depth, and there's timestamps for people jumping in to see what they want to see. Anyway, so the forces here of the mighty Black Fawn coming in with the greenskins. It looks like he's actually going to pop back and deploy his troops. So we go over the Norskins first. They seem a little bit more prepared. And oh my god, Rohan has called for aid, or the Altdorf has called for aid. And the Norskins have answered. We have Marauder Horsemen into the sunset, a bucket ton of them, as well as some of the thrown axe variety. Just trying to mix it up a little bit. So it's going to be a huge cavalry contingent. Very good at taking down some of the larger threats the greenskins can bring. And cycle charging them can work rather effectively. We have Marauder Berserkers dotted all the way along the battle line as well. They're certainly going to be able to chew their way through any greenskin infantry they come in contact with, apart from maybe Black Orcs, but they have the skirmish potential there to whittle them down from range. Over on this flank, we have one unit of spearmen. We have some Marauder Chariots. I never see these guys in action, so certainly excited to see how they perform. Kind of more mid-sized chariots all around. We do have some rather angry-looking skinwolves floating in the trees. These guys are pretty badass. We have Wolfric the Wanderer on horseback, coming with his boat. No Hunter of Champions. This is interesting. Okay. No Hunter Wolfric. That is some wild stuff. I almost never see it not brought, but maybe he's just trying to save money where possible and go as wide as possible. So he also has a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal coming in with Searing Doom and Plague of Rust. But really cool stuff. So forces of the Greenskins, it's going to be a counter-skirmish off. So Altdorf called for aid and 2 armies answered, unfortunately for them. Neither of them friendly. We have Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and then we have a ton of the Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers trying to counter-skirmish. Another unit on the far side. The main battle line is going to be cheap and cheerful goblins. These guys are here, ready for a good old fat scrap. Incredibly cheap, they're expendable. Again, pretty poor leadership, but they're not going to be the breadwinners. Breadwinners melee-wise is the Savage Orc Biggins. We have 2 units. These guys need to be careful. The Skirmish Corps can really whittle them down quite badly. And we also have the Crimson Killers. The Black Fawn, clearly a man of culture, bringing one of the coolest units in the game. Dual-wielding Great Axe Infantry. Can't get more badass than that. Really cool colour scheme as well. We also have a Night Goblin Shaman in the back, just jumping up and down. We have Curse of the Bad Moon. Really underrated spell, because that contact debuff no longer affects friendly troops, just the enemy. Itchy Nuisance and Vindictive Glare. We have the Arachnoid Queen and... Oh, guys, of course, you cannot simply take the Crimson Killers without Grimgore Ironhide. We have the Mad Lad himself, the biggest and baddest. Blood Forged Armour. Get Snake, you're next. Get back here, and the best are his weapons of choice. And here we go. This could completely come down to the skirmish game. Equally, they could both wreck each other enough that then it kind of comes in to the greenskin favour, because that gigantic Ragnarok Spider is going to delete pretty much everything in this build. There's a Skin Wolf Werekin I missed earlier. Him and the Skin Wolves can do good up against it, but not isolating alone. They really need this axes and javelins to go into that spider where possible. Arachnophobia intensifies. Oh, for sure, man. For sure. Grumpy God, great work on your Lizardman guide video. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it, man. It was a real kind of like, it's the biggest video I've ever done. Like, size-wise and stuff, and was a lot of effort, but it was really worth it. It was, hopefully got some good stuff in there. Forest Goblin Spider Riders are just taking a bit of a pounding for now, but you won't be too sad if these are the units that are taking the damage, and the rest of the front line is about to engage. Marauders into Goblins. This is certainly going to go in the favour of the Marauders, although Grimgor's in here, going to have a good time and start whittling down at these bad boys. Marauder Berserkers taking a little bit of bow fire here. Certainly something they're not too happy with. And you see the Greenskins have kind of moved the majority of their forces round for a flank overload on this left-hand side, trying to isolate it and pick it apart. But likewise, all the Norseman players going to do is rotate that flank overload and go down on this side. All these horsemen currently rolling together. A upgraded Curse of the Bad Moon in here will do horrific damage if they stay tightly packed like this. But it looks like so far they are winning that skirmish game because they're committing all their skirmishes in one go, where the Greenskins have kind of spread them out a little bit more, trying to win the fight in more areas. Savage Orc Biggins quite happily going to go up against all these Berserkers, especially if Itchy Nuisance popped. They're dragging them apart, but in come the horsemen on this flank, driving their horses to greater feats of heroism. They dart in between the Goblins, trying to do as much damage as possible. Backline, though, we still have a ton of greenskin skirmishers, and they're really just overwhelming this force, and in comes the Curse of the Bad Moon. They decide to go for the infantry corps instead, which is a bit of a mistake. It kind of whittles away a little bit, still did some nice damage to one unit, but there's no follow-up punch here. Nothing can really be affected by this nasty debuff, and it's pretty huge. Minus 24 melee defense and 30 armor is certainly no joke. However, the leadership core here is in a little bit of trouble. Your next has been popped in the Shaman Sorcerer, slowing him down and making his melee defense a pitiful 0. The Arachnarok Queen, though, is getting bogged down on these brave Berserkers who have jumped on the line to save their Sorcerer. A really key moment there. Spider Hatchlings have been popped into the back lines of this little force. The big boat does come down the line. Gonna be wrecking some goblins. It has been nerfed, but it's certainly still no joke. And here we have an ultimate fight. We have Grimgor going toe-to-toe with a Skinwolf Werekin, which is not going to go too well for the Skinwolf Werekin if Grimgor has the fight his way. Serum Doom is going to be coming down on top of these Savage Orc Biggins, although they were shoved out the way by the most part from these rather friendly Marauder Chariots, who are being counterpunched at the moment by the Arachnarok Queen. Crimson Colour is going to be getting a nice rear charge into the mix as well, and it's a pretty wild fight. If we have a little overlook of the battlefield, balance power is currently heavily in favour of Norska, as a lot of the greenskin forces are starting to rout, so I'm going to phone call my phone there. Ugh. Cool, back. And the Marauder Spearmen have now managed to start shutting down the Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers, who need to continue to fall back where possible. Looks like we are going to have another Curse of the Bad Moon coming down on the Berserkers, and that is a lovely cast. Look at the huge damage coming in, and the Crimson Killers are ripping these Marauders limb from limb. Now, the Curse is also going over them. We have a Serum Doom coming in, and it does some pretty decent damage to the Crimson Killers, making a nice contact there, but they're still relatively healthy, up to 60 kills. And now this huge skirmish contingent is going to be the massive problem for the Greenskins. Yes, they've won the infantry fight, but they've certainly lost the skirmish phase. The Wereking is just going to be healing up. He's managed to pull back for the most part now from his earlier scrap with Grimgor. Wulfric as well is quite happy, so I certainly say the Norskins are in a better position at the moment. The Spider Riders really need to try and shut down this missile core where possible, because you can see the horrendous damage coming on the Queen, who has been hit by a Plague of Rust, but it's certainly easier said than done when there is so many swarming towards them. Archers instead decide to currently shoot the Berserkers, who are now going to get trapped between Grimgor and the Crimson Killers. Certainly not a nice place to be. And Marauder Chariots desperately trying to do a little bit of cycle charging, but Black Orcs have relatively okay mass, and if they turn and engage this chariot with their gigantic axes, it's probably not going to be having the greatest day of its life. Forest Goblin Spider Riders are pushing in where possible to try and threat the enemy before pulling back here, but it looks like the Skinwolf Wereking as well as Skinwolves are going to hop on top of the Spider Riders and try dragging them apart, picking at their limbs one by one. Skinwolf Wereking being a pretty inspired pick so far, distracted Grimgor for a long time before pulling back and healing up, but it's this giant, scary, massive horseman darting in everywhere that's a big problem. Looks like we are going to have a cheeky little hatchling summon. Not going to do huge amounts of damage though. Again, imagine a Curse of the Bad Moon down on these guys. I think it would have been the best use of it, but still, it got some pretty good value as well earlier on. Plague Rust is currently popped on the Arachnarok Queen, who is going toe-to-toe with Wulfric, and in comes Grimgor, the challenger, versus the Mad Lad, and Grimgor is certainly a better combatant. Your next has been popped, Bloodforged armor has gone down as well, and Wulfric is taking a pounding. The ultimate assassination. Is Wulfric going to be able to survive this? Arachnarok Queen is coming in here and doing some massive damage as well, and Wulfric is unbelievably terrified, trying to flee for his life. The Greenskins have to chase him off. It's their best way back into this game, but it looks like he's going to be able to escape. Even with that slow on him, he's kind of trotting away from Grimgor. Take these Spider Rider Archers and chase off Wulfric. It is a must-have. Over here, it looks like the Marauder Berserkers are getting chewed through by the Crimson Killers. Get to see some of this lovely attack animations from them. 110 kills. They've certainly done a good job so far. Looks like a Vindictive Glare tried to hit Wulfric, but it hit this little hill, and he has managed to escape. If that had taken him out, I would probably bet on the Greenskins winning, but as it is, there's still so many horsemen left with a decent amount of ammunition, and down goes the Arachnarok Queen. The Skinwolf once again trying to fight Grimgor. He's happy to take this because he'll simply fall back and heal up, and it distracts the lad there. The Shaman Sorcerer here, the Goblin Shaman, trying to get on the high ground to drop another Vindictive Glare if he can into Wulfric. Well, the lad's saying good luck, have fun. Always good to see good sportsmanship. Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers are going to be charging into the Horsemen, putting their lives on the line, trying to whittle down the cavalry where possible. As this glorious little duel just kind of happens in the middle of all this madness. So Grimgor, for some reason, is trying to walk by. He could definitely just fight this right now and kill the Werekin if Elagos isn't paying attention. It looks like the mighty Wolfric the Wanderer has come back here, and the horsemen are chasing off the Ragnarok Queen. I would stop throwing the javelins, though, just charge into combat. No need to waste that ammunition when it could be used later on to help take down the Crimson Killers. Saying that, though, Crimson Killers have been cycle charged to death at this point, but a fantastic display by the lads, getting 11,000 damage, 121 kills. Real good clearers so far. Savage Orc Biggins are getting whittled down as well by the Horseman Corps here. Forest Golden Spiral Archers trying to get into combat, but there's going to be Berserker support as well. It will end up being a little bit rough. And a Vindictive Glare does come in, whacking Wolfric the Wanderer, once again breaking him. Some of the shots missed, though, and he's going to survive on 200 health and perhaps come back into the fray. Problem is now, this poor little goblin who did put his life on the line is surrounded and going to get deleted very quickly. Grimgor Ironhide, though, is happy to come in here and just whack a few of these werewolves around, doing some big damage, catching that Skin Wolf with an uppercut from his axe. Your Next has gone down, but Grimgor's now completely surrounded. Some of his animations will probably be messed up. It looks like it is Grimgor versus the world. Wolfric has even come back into the fight before breaking once more. Plague of Rust going down on Grimgor Ironhide, but he's broken a ton of these Norscan troops and somehow saved the life of the Night Goblin Shaman. Can Grimgor do it, guys? Can he carry? I've got a feeling his leadership probably won't let him. There's some ammunition left as well. The Goblin Shaman's probably going to break on the next charge in. If he has another Vindictive Glare and can shoot that Skin Wolf, that'd be pretty cool, as the Wolfric the Wanderer has completely shattered at this point. Balance power is currently very heavily in favour as the Norscans, as you'd expect. It's 18 models versus 226, but when one of them is Grimgor, the fear not mighty greenskin players. Night Goblin Shaman has, of course, been butchered at this point, and Grimgor's going to have to take a ton of fire coming in from the Marauders, but they're running relatively low on ammunition at this point, and the Skin Wolves as well will be able to regenerate a little bit. We have a Chariot here, just the one, which will be able to cycle charge Grimgor, and yes, it won't do that much damage, but it may break his leadership, and that is the way the Norscans can win this a little bit comfortably, is by just finishing off Grimgor's leadership where possible. And if we have a little look around, is there any hope of any greenskins coming back? Doesn't look like it. So we have the Shaman Sorcerer Male just vibing miles away from the enemy. Chariot has broken. Grimgor is screaming the battle war. I don't think I've seen a war being popped all game by the greenskins. I don't know if he's keeping it in the back pocket for some reason, or if he's just forgotten, which I assume is the case. Bloodforged armor has gone down as he is scrapping the horseman, but now the ammunition is out and they have to engage in combat at this point. So we'll let the players know if he doesn't engage soon. But it looks like he's going to be slowly whittling some units and kind of trying to organise a bit of a surround here. And he can also chase off this Night Goblin Shaman. Grimgor, though, just going to vibe here and try to hack away at the horseman where possible. Plague of Rust once again popped on him, but it still has a thick 90 armour, and he's a scary melee combatant. We need the war popped. I don't know why it hasn't been popped. That will give Grimgor a big boost to his leadership and maybe save him if he's about to break. So hopefully he's keeping that in the back pocket. Get back here has been popped to increase his leadership, and the horsemen are suffering. The Shaman Sorcerer's just staying out of this engagement for the most part, dropping those Plague of Rust. Might be worth cycle charging as well, but it's so risky. Grimgor is scrapping, guys, and a lot of other units have been completely shattered at this point. It is going to be what you see is what you get. Bloodforged armor does go down, increasing his armor, so negating that Plague of Rust, as well as doing some lovely exploding damage, but his leadership is getting very low here. We certainly need that war active. Gitsnick has been popped, that melee attack up to 24. He is tearing his way through these troops. Now the Shaman Sorcerer has been hit by Your Next. If Grimgor can turn and get one or two big hits here, that could well be the turning point, but he's well and truly stuck amongst all those horsemen. He needs to stay and fight this, I think. Oh no, he's chasing... No, he's not chasing troops over here. He needs to stay and fight. I'll let him know if he does that again. Norska cannot cycle charge. I'll let them know if he does it again. It looks like Grimgor's actually going to be getting the charge for the most part here. Skinwolf is rallying in the distance there as well, trying to heal up. All the horsemen are... Actually, is he allowed to cycle charge? I'm trying to think. The rules did change. I'll have to get someone to double check in a sec. Okay, Plague of Rust has been popped on Grimgor Ironhide, once again trying to lower his stats where possible. More of the horsemen are completely surrounded, still trying to grind out the fight. And 1,800 health is all we have left on the mighty Grimgor Ironhide. Leadership is getting rather low, and that's one thing that the Norscan forces really have going for them quite nicely. And in comes the Skinwolf Werkin once more, although it looks like he does go for a big fat miss and jumps over the enemy. Get back here is once again popped by Grimgor, keeping him alive and active and staying in this fight. Horseman slowly getting dragged down with 120 kills on Grimgor. This is good play. So what you want to do is, yeah, take the Werkin, cycle charge with him where possible. Yes, of course, Grimgor can try and whack him now and again, but he's pinned in by so many troops, it's really quite rough for him. Nice little explosion does go down, hurts those Northern Horsemen quite badly, and the Skinwolf Werkin getting battered here. Grimgor just about holding on. If he can assassinate the enemy leadership, that would be a big, big boon to his forces, and it looks like the Skinwolf Werkin is indeed going to go down here, but so is Grimgor. 14 leadership, and down goes the Skinwolf Werkin. Plague Caster, or not Plague Caster, Plague of Rust Caster I should call him, is just hanging out on the side here. Grimgor getting very low leadership wise. This is, yeah, this is pretty cursed for sure. Grimgor versus the whole army, and he's managed to break the Horseman. I don't know if I missed it. I really did not see him pop a war. I think he surely still has it. Another Bloodforged armor does go down, forcing Horsemen off once more, though they are currently just trying to flee at this point. Your Next has been popped on the Shaman Sorcerer once more, but he's not going to be able to catch him and engage, because he's far too busy surrounded by the enemy. Get back here has been popped in the Sorcerer. It goes for a little dart in before fleeing back once more. And it looks like we do have some Berserkers coming in. They're going to be huge here to help out, because these Horsemen are really struggling to do any damage to Grimgor. Gitsnick is active at the moment, though, as Grimgor continues to fight. No, Grimmy, my boy. Oh, my God. Man, this is so close. It looks like he's going to break 7 leadership. In comes the Sorcerer with that last cycle charge, trying to finish him off, and he does. Where was the war? That is my question. Yeah, Grimgor shouldn't camp the forest, but, I mean, the guy pulled out when he was in the forest, you know, but it's fine. It's all good. Yeah, Grimgor obviously not allowed to keep the majority of your army in the forest, but, I mean, he was just left fighting there at that point, so both players just sorting out amongst themselves, which is good to see. Grimgor, 20,000 damage dealt, 4k damage value. That is absolutely insane by the mad lad. An inspired pick all round. Good work as well by the Ragnarok Queen, despite the kind of units that Elagos brought that could counter him. Still got some okay value from him, as well as the Crimson Killers. The Skirmish Corps was really outclassed, and that was due to some really good micromanagement from LP's very own Elagos there. I love the name. I think that's the same name. I think we spoke about this before. Oh no, they keep leaving and it crashes my game every time. Ugh. This is the problem. We can't go over the stats, I don't think, unfortunately. Because every time they leave, the game crashes for me when I'm on the loading screen. Which is frustrating. I'll just tell them not to leave. Until we hop out. Rip Grimgor. Yeah, but Grimgor, he was a mad lad. Or a goblin fighting like a champ against the horde of angry werewolves. Yeah, he did a good job. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the end stats there from both the players, but still, Grimgor did a really solid stuff. Let's hop into the next one, which should be Papa Palpatine, the Mad King himself, up against the Immortal Emperor. Goose, I'm going to let you know I never pull out. Well, Zachary, I think that's too much information. Hey, hey. At the game end, please don't leave the lobby. It crashes the game for me. Go. So let's quickly update the scoreboard. So it is 1-1, which is always good to see. A hotly contested clan war here, but don't worry guys, there is 7 games total and we've only just seen 2 of them, so still 5 more good games to go. Hopefully if they're as good as those first 2 rounds, this is going to be an insane clan war. Grimgor OP! Grimgor OP! Do it, Papa P. Looks like he has a few supporters in chat. GG, yeah man, that was a crazy game. That was crazy stuff. If Grimgor had regen, oh, that would have been tasty. I don't know if I'm blind, guys. I may well be blind. I just didn't see the wall popped. Like, at all. I don't know if I'm missing something. I may well be. I'm trying to move through chat to see if anyone spotted one. I got 99 views with Deadly Bunnies isn't one. What a traitor. No, Deadly Bunnies is a cool guy. We'll, I think I actually have a replay from him that might be good on the channel soon. I just arrived and I see so much skirmish. I'm sad. Don't worry, Leo. The first game was an absolute scrap of, like, close quarters fighting. So, hopefully, with Chaos coming in up against Tomb Kings, we'll probably will have some skirmish, however. I don't think so. I think we're all good. I think it's just Dr. Vex who's streaming today. I think originally there was going to be 2 people. And if someone as well, probably Peterborough could link the channel as well. So the LP clan are streaming this on Twitch as well in Italian. So any of you Italian speakers out there, I highly recommend going out and checking out their content as well. Grimgore is the what? Exactly. Exactly. Why is Papa P fighting himself, the Immortal Empire? It makes sense. Didn't see it either. Thank you, Thanatos, for letting me know that I'm not going too insane at this point. Grimgore is the war. That is, it's so true. He was a mad lad. 4k value off Grimgore. Perhaps he is finally going to be a competitive option here. Ducky, if no Skaven is played, I demand a 1v1 with you. Oh no! We need to get some games in. I've just been so busy. It's been a nightmare at work. I've got so many games I need to play with different people. And so many replays to go through and stuff. But of course, I'm technically a key worker, allegedly. So it's been a bit of a nightmare. Cool. Let's have a little drink to keep me alive. Looks like Popcalic is ready. Hopefully we can't see this build. It says we're hovering over it. For some reason when I join, it's like forcing me to see the builds. But if he starts building a build, we'll check up a screen blocker. Ducky, if no wood elves are played, I require a duck from you. I'm gonna have to farm ducks. I'm at some point, guys. I need your help. I actually need people's help here. I want to find a website somewhere where I can design a rubber duck and then like use it as merch, because I think that'd be hilarious. And I can use it as like a trophy as well for like winning tournaments like this. Ducky, if no insert faction here is played, I'll throw a duck at you. Hey man, that's just a bonus. You're giving me ducks, Wicked D. I'm down to see more ducks. I've been playing Tarkov like 5 hours a day recently, but I'll make room for you. Thank you, Zachary. Yeah, people think this is a Total War channel. You guys are wrong. This is a channel about ducks. Hardcore ducks. I feel sorry for anyone who joins my Discord and is like brand new. Because when you join my Discord, you're like, oh, I'm joining this Total War Warhammer Discord. And it is, by the way. If you do want to join the Total War Warhammer Discord, feel free to join my Discord. But you may be confused initially because everyone's changed their names to like duck-based stuff. And people keep just posting pictures of ducks, which I absolutely adore. But anyway, for the forces of the Tomb Kings and the Immortal Emperor coming in for Clan LP, we do have the Tomb Kings, and it looks like we have a load more skirmishers. So we have 4 units of Skeleton Horsemen Archers, pretty cheap and cheerful as far as skirmish cavalry go, but of course they have the advantage here of crumbling rather than breaking and routing, which some low-tier skirmish cav can struggle from. We have Nekaharian Horsemen as well, or Nehekahara, whatever how I'd say it. And we have a ton of Skeleton Warriors dotted along the front line with King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion in that central pocket. These guys are the Regiment of Renown. Not only do they look cooler, they fight harder, they have poison, they're a pain in the butt to deal with. And yeah, basically just cheap and cheerful chaff dotted all the way along. We do have some Necropolis Knights on the left-hand side. Now, Sneaky Snakes, my god, are so tough to deal with your kind of like large fools. We have Arkan the Black coming in as well. Spirit Leech and... is that Fate Abuna? No way, I haven't seen Fate Abuna in a while, actually. Fate Abuna and Spirit Leech on Arkan, so going relatively simple with his spells. We have a Necro Sphinx as well on this right-hand side. And then we have a Casket of Souls, and that's going to be the job of the King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion to protect him. Cool build. Now for the forces of Chaos. Oh god, what have we done? What have we done? Papa Palpatine here, also known as Papa Kolek, is bringing a wild-ass build. We have 3 units of Aspiring Champions in Vanguard for some unknown, unholy plan of his. Aspiring Champions, all around considered by me, I think they're a really poor unit. but we'll see if he can prove me wrong. They do encourage nearby troops and have Vanguard, but that's about it. Frontline is Chaos Warriors with great weapons on the flanks, and Mirror Guard and Gold Chevron Chosen and Mirror Guard in the back lines. That's some bad to the bone stuff. But the front line's cheap and cheerful Marauders, just here to have a good time, with great weapons on the flanks. For a caster, we do have a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, Burning Head, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Fireball, his weapons of choice, with a Scroll of Shielding. And up in the skies, we have a basic Chaos Lord. Our Palpatine really trying to stunt on people today, bringing some units you don't get to see terribly often. Coming in with the Pendant of Slanesh, plus 40 melee attack and 24 speed, turns him into a world beater at least briefly. Of course, Foe Seeker and Dark Fires of Chaos, which is, of course, his breath attack. We have the Swords of Chaos, regiment around Chaos Knights over here on the high ground. And the one problem that this Chaos build's really going to suffer with is all these horsemen. So he's going to have to try and pressure them away with kind of like his cheaper units and hop on them when he can. It's certainly going to chew through a lot of the Tomb King's force, but the cavalry could be a big problem. Necrosphinx could also be a big problem here, as well as that Casket of Souls. So it's going to be an interesting game, and of course that Chaos Lord cannot regenerate his health in any way. So any Spirit Leeches that do go down on him could be pretty scary. And in come the big shots, instantly going after the Chosen. Lovely focus fire here and targeting by the Immortal Emperor. Yeah, these Chosen probably going to get rinsed and not pay for themselves anywhere near enough, as they're very expensive, and Casket Souls can do some absolutely huge work on them. An upgrade Spirit Leech has gone down the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, but lovely micro by Palpatine, just juking all of those shots like no tomorrow, coming straight out of the Matrix there. Still taking some damage though, of course, from the Spirit Leech. It looks like it was not a miscast in the end as well. But then come the Force of Chaos, and when they approach this front line, that's when it's really going to kick off. This Necrosphinx is going to be a little bit of a world beater, however. In this sense, Swords of Chaos are starting to float into the back line. Necropolis Knights, though, are waiting to spring the trap, and it looks like they're going to be coming in for the scrap. These guys have poison attack, so they're going to do relatively well here. It looks so like the Swords of Chaos do notice this and manage to fall back through the cheese just in time. Big fat breath attack goes down on the Casket of Souls, and it is gone. That Chaos Lord just deleted that casket in a matter of seconds, and that's going to allow the Chosen now to pull into the engagement. Frontline has got underway. Let's get a lovely cinematic view down the battle line as some of these glorious aspiring champions are getting slaughtered, and Marauders are having a pretty good time. Over in the distance, though, real unfortunate engagement, unfortunately, for the Mirror Guard here. They do not want to be fighting a Necrosphinx, especially if Liber Mortis popped on it. It's going to be a nightmare to drag that thing down. Chosen are running over to support, however. With a big Burning Head going down the line, and that's a nice use of the aspiring champions. They're not going to take too much damage themselves from a Burning Head, so using them to bunch up enemy troops can work wonders. And it's going to go through the second unit as well, roasting them Chaos Marauders as well as Skeleton Warriors. Bit of a 3-for-1 deal, although one of them was his own troops. In the back line, Chaos Warriors with great weapons trying to pressure the enemy back line, getting skirmished, of course. And in the distance, it looks like the Chaos Lord is struggling to escape here a little bit. Pinned in by Horsemen, as well as King the Catcher Scorpion Legion running over. Now this is the problem. I mean, the Chaos Lord can go toe-to-toe with the Knights relatively effectively. With King the Catcher Scorpion Legion there, that is a losing engagement. Can he escape through the trees, however? In the distance, Chaos Warhounds' great weapons are chewing through that Skeleton Warrior front line, and all across the battlefield, the Chaos are starting to pressure in now, and they can move up and support. So they've wiped out the majority of the Skeleton Warriors, but the big problem here now is they've got nothing to catch the Horsemen, and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is in an absolute pickle. He certainly needs to get up and escape. His Spirit Leech has gone down the Swords of Chaos. At this point, I would say they are a lost cause. Simply fall back and get out of there if you can. Skeleton Warriors are pinning in the Chaos Lord. He is, of course, getting Guardian at the moment from the Swords of Chaos. Cascading Fire Cloak has gone down as well, just to try and keep them alive, to enable the Chaos Lord to escape, or his support to come over. And it looks like that is just what the Chaos Forces are going to be doing, starting to march over, although it looks like they are sleeping a little bit there, because, of course, he's trying to micro this Chaos Lord into the sky. The Shaman Sorcerer is coming with a Fireball straight into the face of his own Chaos Lord, trying to encourage him on a little bit. Though it looks like he did actually clip some of those sneaky snakes. And the Chaos Lord may just be about to escape here. If he can get up in the skies, that is a huge boon for the Warriors of Chaos. And there he goes. He simply needs to rearrange his battle lines now and start pressuring this force once more. We still have 2 breath attacks, and they could be pretty huge here. Swords of Chaos are struggling a little bit at this point, but they did manage to save their Lord, and I guess that is their job. A big fat breath attack down on the Necrosphinx or Ark and the Black would be huge, and they're currently both chasing that Chaos Sorcerer booty. They see some, fire stuff, they want to hunt it down and chase it. Looks like a Necrosphinx has found himself surrounded by aspiring champions and other units, and he's kind of isolated himself from Arkan, so this could be some scary stuff. Cascading Fire Cloak does go down on the Chaos Lord, which is a nice pick to try and pin in Arkan the Black, but but it looks like Immortal Emperor is on top of his micro here, sees what's going on, pulls over the Necro Sphinx and carries on running with Archon, and now the Chaos Lord's going to take huge amounts of damage. Scroll of Shielding has gone down though, and he looks like he's going to turn and face this, and with the pendant popped and Scroll of Shielding, maybe it's not the worst idea, but it looks like the mobility of Immortal Emperor here, with his sneaky snakes, is whipping around the flanks of this big infantry corps and going to come and support. Chaos Lord cannot make his mind up on which way he's going to go. He's just kind of lobbing back and forth and taking a load of shots in the back. That could be a huge cost there for the forces of Chaos. I don't think it's deliberate. I think he's trying to get him rid of him, but the model's just really struggling for some reason to get out of danger there. That is really unfortunate. He's just kind of blobbing. But he's routed now, so he should be able to escape back up into the skies, and with that, all of a sudden, the Tomb Kings are massively in favour. So, Chaos Warriors with great weapons are starting to float over. Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire taking a bit of a pounding as well. And if the leadership does go down for the force of Chaos, this Necro Sphinx is going to be a nightmare and a half to deal with. Archon the Black is, however, surrounded at the moment by Mirror Guard, as well as Aspiring Champions, who will be boosting up the nearby morale of all of these troops. And they're doing a bit of a number on Archon the Black, but lovely play so far by Immortal Emperor has kind of pushed him into the ascendancy, with the Necropolis Knights whipping around the flanks, hunting down that Chaos Sorcerer Lord as well where he can. Good luck, have fun, the guys were saying. And it looks like that Sorcerer has actually, or the Sorcerer, the Chaos Lord, I keep calling him Sorcerer Lord. Chaos Lord has indeed gone down there, maybe a last-ditch Spirit Leech. And it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire will be joining him, being hunted down by those Knights. There's still a ton of infantry left on the field, and the Inspiring Champions will be boosting up the morale. We're probably going to see a bucket ton of cycle charging coming in, trying to break these forces where possible, as well as summons to keep the Tomb Kings fighting. Somehow the Swords of Chaos are alive and come back darting onto the battlefield, flaming the Beric Dundarian swords at the ready. Spirit Leech does go down on them though, and we'll be able to finish them off, as well as some lovely fire coming in by the Skeleton Horseman Archers. And it looks like we're going to have another grindy kind of end phase here of the battle. Marauders were forced off and beaten down by Necropolis Knights, despite the best attempts of the Chaos Warriors with great weapons to get over there and support. This big Sphinx, though, is just going to be a nightmare to deal with, especially with the leadership problems Chaos are now going to have. In the distance, we have 2 units of, Chaos Marauders and 1 of Chaos Great Weapons who need to come back into the fight. They're currently vibing over here, probably with chasing down some troops and trying to break them off the field, or indeed rallying themselves. Balance power is now in favour of the Tomb King's forces. Well, they have chosen. They do have chosen. So the Chosen are going strong. And, trying to fight their best fight here. Okay, what are the Chosen? Yeah, the Chosen, still 51 models. I mean, the Chosen, they're not anti-large or anything, but they still pack a punch. 54 melee attack is certainly no joke, and they're actually dragging down this Necro Sphinx here. Maybe I called it a little bit too early. I think the Tomb King is starting to struggle. If these troops can rally to the cause and all the Chaos Warriors blob up on each other, then they'd have a good shout. But unfortunately, a lot of them are getting picked apart, with Aspiring Champions and Marauders being hunted down by Skeleton Horseman Archers, which is just really good play by the Tomb Kings. Good diligent play hunting down those troops. In the forest, though, Skeleton Horsemen have been caught by some warriors with great weapons, who should be able to, finish them off just like that and start rallying back to the main fight. Aspiring Champions are returning to the field, as well as Chaos Marauders and Chaos Warriors with great weapons, trying to rally to the Mirror Guard here, and the Chosen, who are desperately clinging on for dear life. Necro Sphinx still has, 2,300 health. That's a lot of scary health. And it looks like he's now trying to focus down the Aspiring Champions, which isn't a bad idea. It's basically like going after a hero at this point, trying to wipe out that leadership where possible. Marauders trying to rotate round and into the forces of the infantry, where they can actually do some damage, allow the great weapons to come in and try and hack apart the mighty beastie. Mirror Guard and Chosen fighting back to back is always a glorious sight, however. Aspiring Champions do rally somehow, and currently not doing terrible up against these Skeleton Horseman Archers. I mean, Horseman Archers, of course, are skirmish cav, not meant for combat, but the Aspiring Champions, heavily outnumbered, probably going to break here regardless. A lot of the Chaos forces are now starting to shatter, and some of the returning forces are just being slaughtered on the approach by the Horsemen. Chosen are currently out of the main engagement, as well as Mirror Guard. Just trying to fall back for now, I suppose, while all his other troops do start to rally, and he tears through this summon of Skeleton Warriors. Very micro-intensive end stages here. You gaming this game, trying to gather Norwegians to play with. Oh, the other Norwegians, man. There's, I think there's a few Norwegian players, but I'll chat about that afterwards, I suppose. Alright, Skeleton Horseman Archers are once again going to be fleeing, just pulling away from the Chaos Warriors and charge them down where possible. And it's really going to come down to that these Chosen are trying at the moment to, I guess, catch their breath a little bit, but they want to be pushing in, I'd say. Mirror God have managed to surround Ark in the Black, trying to carve him to pieces here, but all the Chaos forces are starting to break as the Aspiring Champions are terrified and now successfully broken off. More ones on the left have broken off, and with that, the leadership of the Mirror God simply drops. These other champions need to get nearby, encourage them, boost them up, keep them fighting. Of course, they have immune to psychology. I just don't know why these chosen aren't getting engaged in combat at this point. Maybe just trying to whittle everything down first and come in as fresh as possible. I don't know. I think they need to be in there trying to do some damage. But in the distance, Skeleton Horsemen Archers are now going to be finishing off Marauders, getting some good value where they can, hunting down the enemy troops. And it looks like the Aspiring Champions have been cleared up on this side. So close game though still. Balance power is dead even pretty much. Slightly in favour of the Tomb Kings. I just don't see anything that can kill Necrophix and Ark in the Black. At least with good micro, as long as he doesn't leave them in combat too long against anything. Yes, Magnus is a Dane. Yeah, Raptor's a Norwegian, I want to say. And he still has his Shopsy Summon. Fantastic notice. So, much like the Chaos Spawn Summon was used in the first game as an incredibly last-second kind of back pocket maneuver, we may be waiting for that last Shopsy Summon to come down. So, it looks like the Chaos Warriors are going to simply rally their forces together for one last attack, and then we'll see Shopsy Summon in the back, as long as he doesn't forget about it, because that would be a bit of a disaster. Because the Shopsy Summon here should finish off this infantry blob coming into the rear, and there... Oh no! Skeleton Warrior Summon first, now maybe the Shopsy Summon on top of it, just to really try and push that balance of power and break this force, would be the best way to do so. Chaos Warriors are fleeing, Squadron Champions are fleeing, and I think that is game as Horse Archers do come in for a thunderous charge into the rear. All that morale is going to be weeping and crying away. Chosen desperately holding firm here for as long as possible, but yeah, they're going to be going down just to the sheer weight of numbers, as well as the big scary beast. So that is going to be a lovely GG. And LP take advantage, go 2-1 up in the early stages of this clan war. I think the big deciding factor was that Chaos Lord. I think if he got back up into the sky, I'm not sure if it was just an attack animation and he was like whipping with his tail or something, and Papa Palpatine just didn't bring him out in time, or if he was trying to and he was getting stuck on something. But him getting sniped out like that all of a sudden put the emphasis massively in favour on the Tomb King's forces, because a couple of breath attacks in there would have really turned that game. But lovely play by both players, and Mortal Emperor with some brilliant micro, coming in with that Sphinx, as well as the pesky Knights here, getting a 5,500 damage with them, and the other unit 10,000, that's scary stuff. Good snipe on the Casket of Souls by Papa Kolek there, with the Sorcerer Lord, but at the end, the added mobility of Mortal Emperor and his really good micro throughout the whole game did enable him to pick apart that Warriors of Chaos build. Arkan coming in with some decent damage as well. Chaos Lord did good work though, 1,500 damage value, it certainly isn't too shabby by any stretch of the imagination. Chaos Source Lord of Fire did good as well. The Swords of Chaos, 1,000 damage value, better than I expected them to do, but unfortunately a lot of the Aspiring Champions kind of were a little bit damp noodle. I mean, they're relatively cheap though, and they did inspire the troops to fight a little bit harder, but it ended up becoming a problem of infantry games in general, where the Skirmish Corps, if you can gain map control, you can often kind of slowly pick apart your enemy. You can pick and choose your fights rather than letting your enemy do it for you. I whip my tail back and forth, exactly. Exactly. Good stuff. What would I get for adopting you, Wicked? Is Wicked trying to get adopted? I'd be a good Norwegian son, you can adopt me. Wicked would have to become like Wicked Raptor son or something. You'd have to change his last name. But GG, awesome game. Yeah, 550. They are pretty cheap and did pretty good work there. I really want my Chaos Dragon animations. Yeah, that struggled a little bit, but great game. That was a really fun game. All the games so far have been super close and just incredible games all round. So it's good to see. Lovely to see these guys are so kind of hotly contested. So up next we have Ninja. Ninja up against Fedi. Oh, it's up Ninja up against Belovex. Awesome stuff. Oh, it's just disappeared. There you go. Wicked D, where are you from? I always forget. I want to say you're British, and that's why you're trying to evacuate to the EU. So I do not blame you. So let's update the scoreboard quickly. LP taking a nice little lead here, going up 2-1. Of course, there are 7 games in total, however. And looks like Vex is already here. Oh, Vex is oh no, yeah, Vex is playing, and Dr. Vex is casting. Hey. Cool. Having a servant would be useful indeed, Raps, indeed. Yes, Kroggar. I wish we'd see some more Kroggar. What's up, Mountain King? Hope you're doing well, man. Just noticed you're in chat. Thank you for the Lisbon guide, Rubber Duck. Will you do the other races as well? Well, thank you first and foremost for the compliment. Glad you enjoyed it. I may well do. If I do other races, what I'll probably do is have a guest on, because Lizardmen is the faction I know best by far. So I felt solid enough with my Lizardmen gameplay that I could do a big in-depth analysis of kind of every single unit. There's a few factions which I'm like relatively good with as well, which I could maybe do guides for, but I'll also probably have guests on. So, you know, we're trying to get, for example, like Poison Ducky if we do a Vampire Counts one, and Geese Howard on if we're doing Beastmen, that type of stuff. But I'll certainly something I'm looking forward to do in the future. They're quite big videos though, so with working alongside, they're not going to be super consistent at the moment, but obviously the more the channel grows, the less work I have to do on like my day job, and then I can do bigger videos and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Zachary, I'm not the best Skaven player, so your help would be certainly good, man. You did an interview for a job with CA about a year ago. Interesting. I once messaged them. Oh, are they ready? We are both ready, I think. Awesome. Good luck to the lads. Yeah, I messaged CA once, like before I had a YouTube channel, and I was like, hey guys, I do like I can do voice acting, and like, I'd finished uni, so I just finished like Creative Writing Masters, I've done acting as well, up to like BA Honours, so I was like, hey, if you guys need some voice acting for like the Warhammer games, even though voice acting is probably my weakest strength, I'd say, but if you need voice acting, or you need like script works for like quests or something, I could write some stories for you based in the Warhammer universe, and you know, kind of do that type of thing for you, but they very kindly said they don't actually hire positions like that, and they actually pushed me in the direction of a like apprenticeship I could do with them, or kind of like an apprenticeship thing, but it was in something I would be terrible at, like animation or something. Yeah, we've got Palpatine for Chaos. Darth for Empire would be really good. They may end up being oh yeah, good luck, Magnus. I will just not look at chat. No worries, man. Good luck, dude. Hope you have fun. They may end up being live streams in that case, if we do get guests on, because it might be a bit easier to organise. But anyway, here we go. So, for the forces of Bello Vix, lovely name there, coming in with the Skaven, the pesky Ratlins. A ton of Skaven slaves dotted all the way along the front line, cheap and very unhappy to be here, not cheerful and completely miserable. This is going to be Wicked's life under Ronan, was it? Or whoever said they were going to take him in as a servant. But yeah, loads of Skaven slaves dotted along the front line. Clan Rats are going to be used as a secondary line, no doubt, as well, just try and make the formation a little bit thicker. But the main juice of the army is in the form of some Rat Ogres. We have the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep. These guys are bad to the bone, look ferocious, and pack a punch. Of course, they have Frenzy, and also the Berserk trait, which is really powerful on them. So once they've engaged in combat for 30 seconds, they're going to be gaining that 22% physical resistance, and melee attack as well on top the later it goes on. It was really scary. Rat Ogres with physical resistance, something you don't want to mess with. So they're dotted all the way along the front lines. We also have some Warplug Jezzails, looks like 2 units in fact. They're getting protected by some Warp Grinders. Warp Grinders look incredibly maniatic, and that's because they absolutely are. They can seismic snare you, they can of course Warp Quake you, slow you down, block you down, and protect this juicy back line, or central line. We also have the Avalanche Mortars, Regiment of Renowned Death Globe Mortars, a unit I think is incredibly powerful. Leadership core-wise, we have a Warlock Engineer, an Assassin, and a Lord Skrulk, of course, coming in with all his very powerful items. And we have Beric Dondarrion's favourite rat boys, Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, in the front line. Now, this is an incredibly small here Hyle force, and if anyone's played Ninja before, they know he adores a Star Dragon, so of course we have one in action. Apart from that, we have a load of Lothran Sea Guard dotted around in a rather interesting formation. It's not many troops to try and protect a Everqueen's Court Guard, but if you can do it successfully, they will certainly roast some of the bigger creatures like Rat Ogres that do come into the field. We also have a Equal Bolt Thrower, which is kind of positioned their bolts in front of the Everqueen's Court Guard there, backed up by some Silvern Guard, and another Bolt Thrower in the back. This is a really interesting formation. I've not seen this before. Looks like good stuff. We also have a Mage of Light coming with the no net, bonus Time Warp, Shem's Burning Gaze and Fast Protection, try and boost up his lads. And then we have Tyrion on Steed. This is some crazy stuff. I like it. It's cool. So, Star Dragon going to be floating along. Needs to be very careful. Warplock Reserves are going to have a field day here. And of course, Star Dragon has no access to healing, because I don't think there's two mages. No, it's just the one, which is very scary stuff. Looks like he's going to be juking back and forth for now, just trying to avoid shots, which is a risky gambit, because of course the Star Dragon is a rather large and slumberous beast, so it's going to be kind of, bobbing back and forth. However, the High Elves do have a little bit of range advantage here. Equal bolt throws can come in and start whittling away at those mortars, as well as at the Warplock Giselles, and it looks like that's just what they're going to do. Hitting those Warplock Giselles, exploding rats left, right, and centre. Well, they are now trying to come in and counter-shoot the Eagle bolt throws. It looks like with the 2 units, they may be able to overwhelm the Eagle bolt thrower here, because bolt throwers will take a while to kill such units like the Warplock Giselles. Mortars are actually shooting in at the Star Dragon, and this Star Dragon is going for a full Leroy Jenkins approach. Has been hit by a Howling Warp Gale. If it can get a breath attack down though, it could maybe negate some of the damage, because at the moment it is going to get sniped. Oh no, the Star Dragon is getting whittled by bullets and riddled. I would just do a breath attack. That's like straight away, make sure you can use one of them, but he's still going to float over top here, maybe trying to force his way back to the mortars. Really aggressive play here from Ninja, and that is hopefully going to allow his Eagle bolt throws to stabilize a little bit and continue to shoot. Tyrion is going for the Jon Snow approach here and charging headlong after his Dragon Bro here, trying to get in to sort out the enemy, although some nasty shots are coming in from the Warplock Giselles. Star Dragon just vibing at the moment up in the skies. Definitely wants to do a breath attack down on Lord Skroak or along the lines of these troops, as the Tyrion just yeets in. I love it. Going straight in. Lord Skroak is going to come down with a summon to try and pin him in place. He's darted straight into the back line on top of the Avalanche Mortars. Who needs support when you have mighty heroes and beasties? The Star Dragon lands on the Warplock Giselles, doing some lovely damage, and it looks like the micro of Bellow Vex has slipped up a tiny bit here. Of course, he's trying to micro a billion different things, so it's easy to see from up here, but he didn't manage to counterpunch the Star Dragon, who should get up in the air now. It looks like Tyrion has been hit by Seismic Snare and Liber Bubonicus, Assassin's Trophies, Fast Protection, everything is down, but it is a trap, as a Sunfang shall be coming down to do some nice damage, but I think a too risky trap here, and yeah, Tyrion is going for a full-on charge there. Didn't work too well for him. However, the Avalanche Mortars have been shot down. The High Elves are in a much better position situationally than they were prior to Teclis, who has managed to gain the Star of Avalon. If he can fall back and heal up, it, in the end, probably wasn't the worst trade, as Pitfires, a Health Leap, are now being lit up by the bowline of the High Elves. Rattlers are starting to pressurize, however. Sylvan Guards certainly want to sit back in protection where possible. This is a wild, insane game so far. Star Dragon flying up in the skies, needs to get involved in the battle a little more. I would just do breath attacks down on some of these troops. I don't think he's used a single one yet, and start charging in, really pressurizing those characters and bringing Tyrion back to the frame. The Mage of Light has taken on the role of Tyrion, charged headlong in. The Assassin, though, is doing a pretty good job to counter-punch him here. The Rattlers do receive a little bit of a blast there. I think Shem's Burning Gaze going after Lord Skroak. Once again, Star Dragon has been caught there in one of those pesky Howling Warp Gales. Tyrion has returned to the field, charging in on his mighty steed. He is a fast combatant, and he's going to be hunting down those Warplock Giselles. Nope, he's going to be charging back in, going after Lord Skroak. Now, the problem with Tyrion is all round, he doesn't have the best mass, even on his horse, so he really gets bogged down by infantry. Star Dragon absolutely punts Lord Skroak into the High Elf forces. A lovely summon by Bellow Vexit. He's going to be summoning in the Plague Monks, and they will chew their way through the Everqueen's Court Guard. Both boat throwers are still online and foreign in, trying to take out the Avalanche Mortars for now. But now it looks like the Star Dragon standing ground has been popped to keep it alive. Is quite struggling quite badly now health-wise, as a lot of these ranged forces have got back online. Maybe using the Dragon to actually hunt down these troops in the background would have been a better bet, as then allow Tyrion to kind of tank in the front line. But it looks like the Dragon is just really going in to try and finish off Lord Skroak, but he's probably going to die for his efforts, as the Major Light does pull back. Ratogers are now clobbering Eagle bolt throwers in the back line as well, which is a lovely pickup for the forces of Skaven. The distance, the Avalanche Mortars, it looks like Ninja really wants to get rid of these guys. I don't blame him. They do some pretty horrendous damage. They don't quite have the that nasty poison wind effect, but still. Star Dragon has finally been dealt with and forced off. This dragon certainly lived a full life. Certainly cannot say he didn't go for it there. Charging into the enemy, taking huge shots and damage, but at the same time dishing out in droves. Just some more use from the breath attacks I think could have been really helpful. As now Tyrion is a little bit stuck here. Assassin's Trophy, Liber Bubonicus, Rival High Talisman, a lot of stacked debuffs there, and the Assassin should finish him off, as the Defender of Ulthuan tries to go down fighting. Lovely play of him, though. He did some pretty awesome stunts here. But it looks like he is going to be going down. That was insane. That was just insane game. That was madness. I love it. The suicide strat, if he wins, kudos to him. I mean, he actually put him in an okay position. The Star Dragon, though, I think didn't choose his targets very well at the end. He could have got 2 or 3, like 1 or 2 breath attacks off before the main fight actually started. Along, like, even just the Warlock Jezzails, get a few of them offline, do some damage to Skrog, and then in the mid-phase, instead of going after Lord Skrog, if he darted down to Warlock Jezzails, it dragged resources away from shutting down the bowline, which was starting to do some really huge damage. But yeah, Star Dragon did struggle a little bit, so did Tyrion, although they were kind of used as a more distraction kind of effects. Lothran Sigurd, nothing doing craziest damage there. Oh, I'm actually going to hop out there, because I can hear someone leaving the lobby. Yeah, I'll need to keep reminding players not to leave, because if that keeps happening, it ends up crashing the game. But anyway, awesome stuff by both the players there. That was some wild stuff. GG's indeed. You're in the US. Oh, okay, wicked. I didn't think you were British for some reason. But you can come to Britain. Come to us. We're not doomed. We're fine. Captain Tellus is next up against the Sarge. Ah, lobby is full. Please open spectator slot. Let's message Capitellus. Cool. Just scrolling through Discord as Potmap has sent a message. Okay. Poison Ducky will take his place in the next game if he doesn't get there in time. Awesome. So Capitellus isn't responding, unfortunately. So we may have Poison Ducky. I don't know if he's already in the lobby. Is DBD a British clan? No, Nathan. It's just I happen to be British. Wrong angle. You should have said, "Dear CA, as a company near Bath, I think your team needs more rubber ducks." See, I needed you then, Optimus Prime. You could have inspired me to get a job. I do agree with Krotgar, Gene, but please don't spam the chat, otherwise one of the mods will have to delete those messages, I'm afraid. But I do love a good Krotgar. I inspire. I have the same inspiration as him for you. So let's see. Have they opened another lobby yet? Let's refresh the list. Oh, there's a game called Boobies. That's what you guys were talking about earlier. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, we can spectate now. So it's either going to be Capitellus or Poison Ducky. We'll have to see. And it looks like Poison Ducky will be taking the place. So hopefully Capitellus is all good and alright. I think he said early on that his work had been hacked or something, and he was doing like ridiculous hours to try and save the day. So hopefully, you know, he's all good and stuff. I'm sure they've messaged it between themselves. Cool, so let's update the scoreboard here. So LP are taking a dominant lead at this point after that early kind of first game. Very close games though so far. That last one was a little bit more heavily favored to the force of the Skaven, but good to see some crazy gambits as well. There's a Spanish clan. What other clans are based on the members' nationality? I don't think that many are based on nationality. I think LP may only be Italians. I want to say BB... No. Yeah, there's a Spanish clan. I don't think there's too many other ones. Cool. So it looks like they're sorting themselves out. And it's going to be Dark Elves from Sarge 71. Don't know if they've picked and banned yet, or Poison Ducky picked and banned. He is, of course, a Vampire Count's main, so always good to see them there. GG guys, have a great stream. I'm off, work is killing me. No worries, Leo man. Thank you for tuning in anyway, and thanks you for your support as always. You were always drop some awesome support. Is Sons of the Mountain really Polish? I thought they were just any dwarf, dwarf people. Yeah, and BBB is Spanish, yeah. It might just be easier just for a language situation. You know, to have all the players kind of speak in one language. Good stuff. Good stuff. I hope you guys enjoy them. Lovely to see so many people watching. The streams are getting a load of views and stuff. People do certainly seem to love them quite a lot. Ooh, so I hope you guys are enjoying. If you are, I'm afraid I have to do my standard YouTube admin in. If you are enjoying, please feel free to hit that big old thumbs up button. It really helps push out the channel as well as the stream to more people, so we can slowly make them convert more and more. Oh, let's update. The problem is if they start and I try and take this down, it might crash, but we'll do that. But I've opened an English section. Oh, it's dwarves, but the head is Polish. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, technically DBD, like, banner, please. Did I not update the banner? Yeah, it's free one. It is a free one, I believe. Yeah, there's a screen blocker up, guys. There's a screen blocker up. Oh, there's a bit of a delay from what you're saying, so I did respond to it. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, yeah, if you enjoy, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed already, why not? It's free, and yeah, you get to see more glorious content by myself. We do Total War Warhammer content every single day. If you want to support the channel in any other way, there is a Patreon link down below in the description, or you can become a member on YouTube, and we have Super Chat, all that kind of standard YouTube stuff. All that YouTube rubbish. But here you go. Cool. So it is going to be Vampire Counts versus Dark Elves now. Dark Elves have a really fantastic time up against Vampire Counts. They just annihilate them. But Poison Ducky is a veteran of Vampire Counts play. So if you bring a faction that's good against him and that counters him, he's probably played that matchup an absolute bucket ton. So, you know, he should probably be relatively well prepared. And Sarge's build is freaking awesome. It is awesome. So I'm hoping he's sticking with this. He's hopefully sticking with this. I guess now I've got the banner up, I can have a little look at Poison Ducky's build as well. I know it won't let me switch over, I can literally only see Sarge's. Cool. I'm going to have a drink to keep myself alive. Please no more Krogars, Kolos. I do love Krogar, he is my favourite character as well. But and just don't spam the chat. Oh, been a good clan war so far. We still have a couple of games left. So we have this game. Then we're going to have Geese Howard up next. Up against Os... Oh god, I'm going to butcher your name and you were in chat earlier. I've written it down funky, so I'm going to read it out when I actually see his name. And then we have Stormer as well at the end, so... Let's go, champ! Yes! Let's do this. Poison Ducky. OG member of the YouTube channel as well. Ready when you are, perfect. He's been around since, I think, before I had 100 subs or something. And he himself has his own YouTube channel. I don't know if he's actually doing content on it anymore, which is kind of sad. But feel free to go and check him out as well, spelt as it is on the screen. So just Poison Ducky did do Total War Warhammer content, as well as I think he did some Among Us videos and loads of other cool stuff. So hopefully he'll be getting back to it soon as well when his work quietens down a little bit. 69 likes. Nice. I agree. I don't think there's ever going to be a point in my life where I'm old, like I'm too old to laugh at that joke. I think I've reached my level of maturity now, and it's not high, guys. It's not high. I'm having internet issues. Wait a sec. Okay. No worries. Doesn't seem to be any lag in the chat bit, which is fine. By the way, it's not ALDB, it's ADDOB. I'm so confused. Well, your name? Adopt. No, it's Grombrindle. Yeah, sorry, it's Grombrindle. Sorry, I'm getting mistaken here. What's up, man? Nice first victory of your Beastmen as well. Sweet. Oh god. ADDOB. Adopt? Okay, that's what I'm going with. That's what I've got so far. Okay. So Sarge is just sorting out his internet, and then we should hopefully be back in here and ready for good scrap. Looks like he's rearranging his build actually, so he is still here, which is good. At least no one's crashed. At least no one has crashed, that's the main thing. Ooh. Poison duckies of the earth, receive my energy. Yes. Hello, hello. What's up, man? Black Evie 2. Oh my god, I'm so bad with names, guys. Trust me, my pronunciation is horrific. I have a struggle, like, I'll add letters to words, which I know sounds insane. Like, I don't do it deliberately. When I see something, I don't know how to pronounce it, and I try and say it, sometimes I'll end up, like, adding letters which don't even exist. It's, like, actually like, a really annoying problem I have. But yeah. Nico is here as well. Good to see you, champ. Hope you're doing all good today. And we'll see if Poison Duckies does receive the power bestowed upon him to claim victory. If he does, it's going to be an incredibly close last couple of games. So it is 3-1 at this point. If LP do win this game, they will be winning the entirety of the clan war. We'll still, of course, be doing the rest of our events and other 2 games, but they'll be uncatchable at that point. So Poison Ducky fighting to keep his clan in the tournament at this point. You can't pronounce my name when it's random letters. Mwahaha. The ultimate trap. Is LP's Twilight Harbinger playing today? I do not believe so, unless he also goes by different names. He's a really good player, though. I've played against him a couple of times on ladder and stuff. Hey, nailed your name, exactly. Exactly. We've got the important one. Ready, awesome. Let us take away the screen blocker. If both players are ready. Boop. And go. Awesome. Cool. Now we'll get this going. We'll get this going. I was looking forward for his matches. He is very good. Yeah, man, he's a real tough competitor. We still have a load of good competitors to come, though. We're kind of at the midpoint, or slightly over the midpoint at this point. We've done 4 games out of the 7. This is game number 5, so you have 2 more after this. Hamoond, how's it going, man? Blood for the blood gods, war for the war gods. Both Gork and Mork shall be pleased of you. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're all good. Nice to see you here. A very good friend of mine here is watching the stream, actually. Who? Twilight Harbinger? Thank you, though. It is a great stream. You should do this more often. Yeah, I'm trying to do more streams where possible. They're a bit harder to produce than the videos, simply for time reasons. But we actually got another video, or another stream tomorrow, guys. It's going to be insane, and you guys can be on it. That's the craziest stuff. Here's one of our greatest players. Yeah, man, he's tough. He's tough. But, yeah, so tomorrow we're doing a bit of an experiment tournament. Basically, if you join my Discord, there's links there to how you can sign up. But we're doing a 1 army tournament. So you design an army, and that is your army for the entirety of the tournament. You send me a picture of your build before the tournament starts, and it's best of 1s all the way through. And we're going to be casting the quarterfinals onwards, because of course it's best of 1. So it's a little bit easier than doing, like, quarterfinals of a normal tournament. Should be awesome stuff. I've seen some of the builds, and it's going to be a wild tournament. But anyway, let's have a little look at the build. So we have the Dark Elves here for the forces of Sarge 71. Played against him quite a few times on ladder as well. Tough opponent. Looks like he's deploying his build. So we'll have a little look at Poison Duckies first. So in the front line, we have zombies, the ultimate meat shields of any army. I don't think I've ever brought a Vampire Counts build without zombies. And they're going to be dotted all the way along here, protecting a core of Graveguard with great weapons. These bad boys certainly pack a punch in melee. Anti-infantry, armor piercing, can't go too wrong. In the leadership department, we have some really badass guys. We have a White King here on foot. Looks like he has Sword of Anti-Heroes. And of course, we have Vlad Daddy himself, Vlad von Karstein, Poison Ducky, a man of culture. Coming in with Wind of Death, Raised Dead, as well as Invocation from the Heck. And he has the Blood Drinker to help him restore some of those hit points nice and quickly. We have a Vargulf over on the flank there. It looks like 2 indeed, so 2 protecting the back lines, as well as a Necromancer on his mighty Corpse Guard here. Up in the skies, we have Fellbats as well as some Vargeists. Vargeists have been improved quite a lot recently. They have decent armor-piercing damages throughout. Black Knights on the left flank and Black Knights on the right flank. So quite a compact build. It's going to struggle up in skirmish, you would think, unless this air core can really help pay for itself. Now, for the forces here of the Dark Elves, In the front lines, we do have Dread Spears dotted all the way along. Cheap, cheerful, happy to be here and have a good scrap. And then we have Blackguard of Nagaron, so one on either flank, as well as the Blades of the Blood Queen in the centre-back position here. So quite an elite core, so no skirmish, which is really interesting. It looks like they can try to out-blob the Vampire Counts, which is often actually how you see a lot of factions try to take them on. But Vampire Counts are the master of the blob, so you've got to be a bit careful. We have double Witch Elves to try and rampage some of those larger beasties into the Blackguard of Nagaron, so really good picks there. We also have a Canite Assassin down here on the ground with, looks like, Assassin's Trophies, as well as Web of Shadows. We have the half-naked Marathi. She's just here vibing, coming in with the Wand as well as Soul Sealer. Of course, very good up against blobs, and this build's designed to try and force that kind of boxy engagement. And then we have a Master on foot as well. Pretty fun stuff, but the real reason I'm excited for this build, he did have two of these bad boys earlier on, or bad ladies I should say, but he took one out and he has the Siren of Red Ruin. She looks so cool, look really crazy and ferocious. Her animations are awesome as well. She has the Whale of Malice ability, and she's going to be supplying a little bit of range punch to this force. What do you guys think of the builds? Insane stuff. What time will that tournament be tomorrow? I believe it kicks off at 5 or half 5. I have to double check. I'll check after this. Yes, but it'd be about 5 p.m. GMT time, British time. And then, depending, because we're going to do the quarterfinals, depending on how many players they're in, we'll probably be streaming a little bit earlier than today's stream, probably around about 6:30 maybe, depends on the players again. So anyway, the Siren of Red Ruin is going to pop up here and get some free shots in, zooming straight by and missing everything there with her first scary scream. In the woods, we do have the Black Knights starting to push through, and a lot of the Dark Elf forces looks like they would be hiding there, but there's just not that many of them. It's quite an elite build, and that Vargolf going for the Leroy Jenkins, just like, I'm not having any of this Siren of Red Ruin rubbish. Going to be pushing it back away from the Graveguard, because Graveguard going to do very good here. Of course, the Blades of Blood Queen will be a bit more of a problem for them, and the slow advance of the Vampire Count is starting to push up. It's always a slow advance when your counts, you tend to go for a more grindy game. Is Dark Elf build legal? You cannot pick more than 2 units with Guardian due to bug. Oh no, not another rule break. Do we have 2 units with Guardian? We have the Master who has Guardian, and the Blades of the Blood Queen. We'll have to see if the bug actually comes into play. It doesn't look like... We'll have to wait and see when these guys go out of position. Actually, oh, did that get fixed? I'm not sure. We'll look at it after the game. We'll see if it's actually going to matter in the end. Anyway, Vargeist flying up above the sky, taking a little bit of poke damage, but bouncing back and forth. Black Knights just double checking there was nothing in their rear there, hunting them out and lurking in the trees. And the Counts slowly moving around to this position, trying to take them on the low ground, it would seem. Not the worst idea. And Felbat's taking a few shots, but simply wasting the ammunition on the Assassin. They'll be more than happy to lose a few Felbats for, you know, going through all that ammunition. And it looks like the Dark Elves are going to be forced down the hill and away from the trees, where they realistically want to fight, because they get that lovely bonus up against the Vargolf and Black Knights, who are going to have to do quite a lot of cycle charging here to try and grind their way through the enemy. Sign of Red Ruin is going to pop up, getting a little bit more aggressive, but once again, fantastic micro here by Poison Ducky, moving forward and pushing away the Siren, so she can't fight into those key units, and she's used up quite a lot of her ammunition already, without too much effect. In the front line, Graveguard are now engaged with Dread Spears, as well as the Vargolf going to be pounding them down, but he's going to be just, you know, cycle charging, pulling back and charging in, but in comes the elite infantry here of the mighty Sarge 71. Witch Elves are going to be charging. Glorious micro here, pulls back the Black Guard, and then whips in with the Witch Elves, dragging these Graveguard out of position, and into an engagement they don't want to be in. Looks like the wand is going to come down on the Vargolf there. Vargeist are flying up in the skies, trying to find a good target. Honestly, rear charging is probably going to be their best bet for the majority of this. Black Knights as well, struggling to find a home at the moment, but it's just a slow engagement is fine. Vampire Counts do kind of love a slow engagement, especially when the corpse cuts get into action. Scabascape does go down alongside the Witch Elves. That must be Scabascape he brought, not a Sword of Anti-Heroes. Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, Scabascape. Down, roasting some of those Witch Elves, allowing the Graveguard to break them down. Zombies even managing to get a flank. Not often you see that. A big wind of death goes down the line, destroying so many Dark Elf troops. Looks like it was overcast, but very well dodged. An important dodge there by the Dark Elves. Blades of Blood Queen still took a ton of damage, but if they didn't pull out any more from there, or the Witch Elves, that could have been like games straight away because they're so scary. But instead, a lovely Soul Sealer catching these elite Graveguard who are done for at the moment, capturing the Necromancer, Vargolfs, White Kings, everything. Brilliant cast there by the Dark Elves. Now, Zombies slowly dying against Spears, but that's to be expected, whereas Graveguard are going to be beating them. And in the back line, the Vargeists have managed to hunt down the Siren of Red Ruin. Now, she's no joke in combat. she can certainly pack a punch, and she's kind of given these Vargheist what's what. With a Whale of Malice coming down, she might even be able to win that engagement, but it looks like Black Knights are going to be swarming over, trying to support and delete them where possible. Now, Blackguard are pushing in alongside the Blades of the Blood Queen, and they have rampaged one of the Varghulfs. The other one is fighting in here, and he probably doesn't really want to be in this engagement. Blackguard and Nagron's pretty scary stuff, but Poison Ducky doesn't have too many options. There we go. Should I say options and choice at the same time, as Vlad was rampaged as well as that White King, and the Corpse Cart is pretty much done for at this point. Blood Knights, though, trying to get some cycle charging down and free value. It looks like the Vargheist probably going to win this engagement up against the Sign of Red Ruin, and in the tree line, the Witch Elves are being butchered by the Black Knights. Very close fight, but it looks like another Overcast Soul Sealer is going to be going down, catching a ton of these units, including Vlad the Daddy, although he'll be healing up a lot of this, of course. Zombies going to be going down, but double Blackguard and Nagron need to be a bit careful in case another scary Wind of Death does come through. White King, as well as the Necromancer Corpse Cart, are currently crumbling and are not having the best time of it. And it looks like the Dark Elves are in the ascendancy, as a wand is going to go down on the Varghulf, although not before they finish off the Sign of Red Ruins and flee from the Blackguard. Black Knights do mop up the rest of the units in the trees there, and it's a grindy game. Graveguard trying their best just to hold back the sheer wave of elite infantry, but these double Blackguard are going to be a nightmare to deal with, and the Sign of Red Ruin has managed to come back here. Assassin's Trophy's been popped on the Vlad, so he's just simply going to walk away, swagger in style, and regenerate where possible, and that's going to be a nasty little hero blob to take down. Witch Elves have been terrified. Blades of the Blood Queen are starting to struggle as well, down to just 18 models. And the Blackguard are standing in a relatively bad position here, because they're in quite a long line in case that Wind of Death does come back. But it's a very expensive spell, and I'm not sure how much other magics he has used. Varghulf's going to pull out this engagement, allow the Graveguard to chop down that Master, which is probably a good call here. And the Varghulf might even want to go after that Assassin and try and gobble him up. So we still have the double Black Knights who can do some effective cycle charging, as well as some of the bigger beasties, but they are cycle charging the Halberd units at this point, which is rather scary. We do have the Whale of Malice going down once more. Varghulf is going to come in and clobber that Sign of Red Ruin for good. And in we have the Wind of Death, double Blackguard of Nagron, both pretty much full health. Wow. Wow, that's just turned this game on its head. Insane damage. The Blackguard of Nagron's taken a pound in there. Black Knights, so need to be careful, don't get too overconfident, pull back and cycle charging once more. Another Soul Sealer does counter punch, may finish off the Necromancer, but Vlad is now back to full health. You have the double Varghulfs running around. That cast may have just won the game. That was Dark Elf favoured up to that point. And all of a sudden, the Blackguard are really struggling. You have Vargheist charging in, Varghulfs on top of them, Blood Knights, or Black Knights, sorry, charging, breaking up these units, and it looks like they are done for, running for the hills as well as the rest of the Dark Elf infantry, just leaving the Hero and Lord core. That cast was insane. Varghulf now is going to be hunting down the Assassin, a good target for him to pound down. Assassins do huge damage output, of course, but are rather squishy, and the Varghulf is having a good time. Vargheist, good use of them so far as well, charging in and out of combat. Down here on the low ground, the Master is trying his best alongside Marathi. They should be able to finish off this Necromancer for good, although I've said that a few times, and he seems to always kind of scuttle away on that mighty chariot of his, and this Varghulf may also be going down, so it's going to come down to a bit of a hero fight. A summon of zombies is coming in just to saturate amongst these troops, and try to mess up some of their attack animations, allowing the Graveguard to do some damage, and that pesky Necromancer, he has been a pain all day, somehow survives and flees once more. One Canine Assassin has been pushed off as well. This is an insane game. The Vargheist is floating over. Can probably just maybe jump the Blackguard if they return to the field. It looks like some of the elite troops of the Dark Elves have returned. Can we say these guys do have guarding, but I suppose the Master is there. I just wonder if the bug was still active. So Vlad is dueling the Master now, a combatant he will be very happy to go up against, especially when there's an angry Varghulf in the distance fighting Marathi for him. And the Master is going to be falling back here, which is a tactical choice. He does still have some of his leadership down. And we have another summon of zombies, and this is going to be the game now for the vampire counts. Simply summon zombies, annoy the two characters where possible, and allow your heavy-hitting Varghulf to cycle charge and Vlad to tear down the opposition. Vargheist did do a lovely little bit of cycle charging onto the Blackguard and Nagron, but now going to float over to the juicier target of the Blades of the Blood Queen, who can't fight back against large threats quite so hard. Lovely charge coming in, and yeah, those Blades of the Blood Queen are done for. It looks like Armilosis is going to kick in. Very well played to both players. Honestly, almost a perfect game from Sarge. Fantastic work, dodged that first Def wins relatively effectively as well, and just one slip-up cost him the game. He really did play fantastic, but damn, that was nasty stuff. I actually went... so I'll say it can't be overcast. Yeah, I realised Optimus Prime as I said it, but I was like, oh no. I always try and overcast it still. That was insane. That was insane. Testing O2 text. I don't know who that is, but yeah, they're not spamming chat, so it seems fine. Don't know if it's a bot to test stuff, but GG's, insane stuff. Obviously, you want to see the damage on Vlad von Carstein. 24,000 damage dealt, 3,700 damage value. Carried the game there. Good micro as well by Poison Ducky, though. The Vargulfs, despite the fact there was a lot of anti-large on the field, both got fantastic damage dealt, and over 1,000 damage value on each. His Black Knights as well in a tricky matchup, doing it relatively well. Vargeist, I'm a really big fan of this unit now. I know some people still consider them quite bad, but I really like them. 4,000 damage dealt, 1,200 damage value, and of course the Graveguard pack a mean punch with zombies just kind of dying left, right, and centre, although the White King did get sniped at. But as I said by Sarge, really nice play all around. I love the pick of the Sons of Red Ruin as well. It struggled a little bit because it kept getting pushed back by good micro with those Vargulfs, and the Vargeist managed to hunt it down in the back lines. But a really elite box build, which can work so well. He got a lovely isolation on one of the flanks. Witch Elves rampaging half of the Vampire Count's forces, and he nearly sniped the Vargulf, nearly sniped the Necromancer, and killed the White King. But the problem with something like Vampire Counts, if you nearly snipe stuff, it's just going to heal up and come back meaner and tougher than ever. Brilliant value on the Assassin, 8,500 damage dealt, 2,000 damage value, and Marathi as well, 10k damage dealt, 2,200 damage value. Valiant effort there indeed, but it looks like we are going to be going to the next rounds with the tie still close. Yeah, the Wind one, yeah, Wind of Death, Wind of Damn Death, that won the game. Wind of Wind, for sure. Yeah, that Wind of Death was insane. They got a minor buff, but some people still consider them to be bad, yeah, for sure. What's up, Samurai Warrior? How's it going, bud? I hope you're all good in the hood. Good to see you as well, Von Carlson. I saw one of your messages earlier, but forgot to mention the name. So, let's hop into my player. And up next is going to be Geese. So, let's have a little look. Hello, it seems. Against oh god, I'm going to butcher your name. I apologise in advance. Oh god. Osirokon. There we go, Osirokon. That's what we're doing. So, 1, 2, 3. And Geese Howard changed his name to Hello. Peterborough is also how his name. I fell asleep. When are we? So Storm, you have one more game and then you are up. One more game, yeah, bud. Hey. So let's update the scoreboard. So DBD scrapped that one back there. And it is 2-3. So if Geese Howard wins this one, the final game will determine the fate of the universe. However, if Oscaron can take advantage and crush the mighty Goose, then LP will claim victory. Of course, we'll still do the final game as well. DBD/Extreme Meme Team. Cool. Please say it's not a Beastmen mirror match. I will cry if it's a Beastmen mirror match. I really like Vargeist, but I've heard people like bad talk them. Very entertaining games. I agree, man. We've had some wild games today. Pretty much every game has been super close, or at least had like really interesting builds and tactics. GG Poison, your level is over 9,000 now. Yeah, Stormon is here, so he will be up in the game afterwards. Up against you, in fact. So that's perfect. Wind of Death is Ducky's favourite spell. Wind of Death is scary if hit correctly. Who picks and bans? Oh god, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Geese to pick and ban, I think. Geese to pick and ban. Yeah, so first round was LP, then DBD, LP, DBD, LP, DBD, yes. Cool, and we'll be on Alpine Ridge here. Alpine Ridge, a bit of a favourite of mine. I like having it up on streams. I think it's quite thematic, as well as having some pretty interesting tactical options of screening your army, so your opponent doesn't really know your deployment unless they've invested in a skirmish corps or an air force as well. So let's have a little look. Alright. Awesome. Yes, geese pick and ban, indeed. Citizens of the Earth, lend geese your energy. Hello and ban. Ban for sure. Oh, what are you guys hoping for, by the way, in the next DLC? I know it's probably some time off. Can we watch the chat while they ban? Oh, yeah. There you go. Sorry. So we can see who they pick and ban. And their tactical awareness there. Yeah, what are you guys hoping? It's probably a long way off. What are you hoping for the next DLC? It's probably going to be Dark Elves and Beastmen, I would assume, as mine. And honestly, I'd quite happily welcome both of them. It looks like Geese is going to be going bloody hands, picking the greenskins, but more than that, he is stunting. He is sending a message. He is bringing a sub-faction, challenging his opponent to do the same. And he is picking the bloody hands, so we are going to see some Wurzag action. Fingers crossed for a full Savage Orc build. And with Geese, you never know what's going to happen. He's a wild player. Very good player as well, with some good micro, but a wild player for sure. Oh, I feel like Astilia is more likely to be a DLC for Game 3 type faction, but I reckon they'll get there eventually. Yeah, Beastmen need the love. No, Beastmen need the love. So I think it's going to be Beastmen, and Dark Elves, I think, are one of the 4 main factions from Total War Warhammer 2, who's still lacking the extra Lord option that they need to give them. So it makes sense to combine the two. Because obviously they're always going to be bringing in... what's that? Counter picks because... is picked last game. Oh, Goose counter picks because... what? Who knows? Probably like, explain. But yeah, it makes sense for a business position to tie a Total Warhammer 1 faction DLC with a Warhammer 2. It just gets people buying more of the games and makes far more sense for them. So it looks like we're simply waiting to see what his opponent is going to pick here. I'm going to have a little sip of my drink to keep me alive. And as I said before, guys, but Dowie, where are the Dowie? We could still have Dowie. I don't think Stormrunner plays Dowie. I don't think. I don't know if his opponent does. I don't think we've had him on the channel before. But massive shout out, by the way, to LP for agreeing to this stuff and having the Clan War up against us. Clan Wars are something special. They're always awesome. They're always a load of fun games. Oh, let's boop. They're always a load of fun games, and it's quite hard to organise them sometimes, but as I said earlier on, Park Map, the MVP of the stream, did organise this Clan War for us, working as a liaison between both the clans. Yeah, it's much better if they rebalance them as well. Yeah, Dark Elves, not only do they need the Lord slot, but Dark Elves in general, I think, one of the weaker factions in multiplayer right now. And he's going Beastmen! Yes! Yes, guys, it's going to be a ferocious affair. Beastmen versus Greenskins. Now, Geese is a Beastman main, so he's certainly going to know all the tricks of the trade with the Beastmen in this matchup, which may help him out quite nicely. But saying that, not knowing your opponent can also throw you off balance. I've done that a lot of times where I try to... someone picks Lizardmen against me, and I'm like, oh, I know what I would do in this build, so I'll just counter that, and they brought something completely different, and it messes you up a load. Oh, you were replying to someone. Okay. Geese, pick and ban, yeah. Okay. Skaven Air Force when? I feel like the Skaven have had so many DLCs, it's going to be a while. Do they even have any Air Force units in Tabletop or lore? I don't know my Skaven lore too good. The Geestmen. Hell yes. Yes. Dark Elves have no army book units left, but neither did Wood Elves, aside from the freebies. And look what happened. Would make sense, though. Gorus tore some Dark Elf butt. Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, I think the most likely one, someone said that is Dark Elf Legendary Lord, who's like a Beastmaster. They've already got Beastmasters, though, so it'd be kind of sucky a little bit, but it would make sense to have him and then Torox the Brass Bull. I really want... the one thing I want from Beastmen DLC the most, by far, is Doom Bulls as a Lord option for the Beastmen and Torox the Brass Bull. That's all I want, Lord-wise. I don't want any other Lord, I want Torox. I know there's a load more Lords they can bring, but I demand them. Flying rat dogs, maybe. Oh, they've got like mutated wings, like growing out of their skin or something. Oh, there. What's up, fancy gunman? How's it going, dude? All time I have for today. Take care, guys, and win DBD clan. Thank you, David the White Lizard, for stopping by. Always a pleasure to see you. We'll have you up in one of these events soon. David is a scary Skaven player himself as well. Malice stole his thunder, yeah. Rakaf. Beastmen, Norska. Tomb Kings can quite possibly get a DLC in the future. At some point. But maybe not till Game 3. And then they'll be in DLC for DLC. Or Total Warhammer 2 instead of just number 1. Yeah, the Beast and the Beastmaster. That type of Thin Mountain King, I agree. Are you streaming more games tomorrow? Yes, we are going to be streaming a tournament tomorrow. You guys can take part in said tournament. You all you've got to do is join my Discord. There's a link down below in the description. And go to the one-man army, or one army tournament or something tab. You'll see it. And go to the pinned messages. It'll explain the tournament, where to sign up and challenge, and the fact that you need to send me a screenshot of your build as well before the start of the tournament, or you will get kicked from it, because the tournament is you build one army and you stick with that army. You don't change anything about it for the entirety of the tournament. This opens up a lot of possibilities. Do you go balanced, something like Empire and a nice mixture of guns, cavalry and infantry, or do you go all in on one kind of loads of large dinosaurs to try and win the day? So it looks like these guys are ready to go. Let me quickly pop out here, take away the screen blocker and pop in. And there we go. So yes, we will be streaming tomorrow as well, do not worry. And in the week after, guys, on Wednesday, so this time next week, DBD Season 7, I want to say it is now, is going to be returning as well. So that'll be a really competitive tournament. Dr. Doom, can I ask you where your name was inspired from? Is it like the Marvel character Dr. Doom, or is it like an MF Doom thing? I'm guessing a Beastmen DLC soon, followed by a Warhammer 3 announcement in March. Yeah, that's a really good bet. My main goal, like with the channel, is I want to get enough subscribers that by till Warhammer 3 comes out, I get like the earliest access, so I get to show off like all the new goody stuff for you guys. But wait, for the forces of the Greenskins, no way is it a full Savage Orc build. I kind of hope it is, but my heart's going to sink a little bit as he still was like on foot. Look at him. Just look at the moves. Let's just appreciate. Look at that. The stunting, the style of Wurzak. He's going to be coming in, of course, with Brain Buster, Fist of Gork, as well as Gaze of Mork, and both his items, which are very powerful. No Foot of Gork, a little bit upset by that. We have a Giant River Troll Hag as well, Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech coming in, and a Foot Goblin Big Boss, just here to have a good time. He looks so decked out with that war gear, of course coming in with Sneaky Stabbing, or they need stabbing. The main battle line is Savage Orc Biggins, just a bucket ton of Savage Orcs and Savage Orc Biggins into the Sunset, majority are the basic ones. Then we have some cavalry as well, the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, 1, 2, 3 in fact in the front line, as well as some Night Goblins hidden in the trees. We have a Goblin Wolf Chariots, it looks like 2 in fact, you never see these bad boys. I know Soothsayer likes to play them, but apart from that not too many players bring them. And we have the Arachnoid Queen. Now the one problem with this build is it could get skirmished into oblivion by throwing axes. Let's see what the Beastmen have done. So Vanguard on top of the high ground here. A ton of Ungor Spearheads dotted all the way along. They are only supported as well by some Blackhorn Ravengers. This infantry corps is going to get deleted by the Greenskin one, but that is a worry for the Greenskins because the rest of the money has been put somewhere else. We have Centaurs hiding over in these trees. We have Chaos Warhounds as well as a Centaur corps in the centre. And over on the left we have Centaurs with thrown axes, 2 units to be precise. That's actually going to be not too much to kind of shoot in and take away at the Greenskins here. We have the Butchers of Kalkengard, one of the most badass and gangster sounding names in the entire games. They're scraping their hooves along the ground, rocking those giant horns left and right. Regenerating Minotaurs is such a cool unit. We have another Gorball. Gorball's getting a ton of love today. We have Morga the Shadowgave, as well as the Brave Shaman of Beast, kind of Manticore Summon and Flock of Doom. Should be a pretty scary fight, of course. Looks like the Night Goblins are pushing up through the trees at this point, and the Greenskins kind of moving away from the board edge, which is good to see. If the fight accidentally kind of unfolds here, that's fine, but yeah, they're making an effort to kind of pull away from it, which is good. So the shots are coming in now, Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, as well as the Goblin Wolf Chariots, who are pushing forward here, can do some lovely free cycle charging down on the enemy. We are going to see a Manticore summon popped very early, will be a good unit to try and snipe the Mighty Wurzag with, but of course Arachnoid Queen can come in there and support. Goblin Wolf Rider Archers are counter-skirmishing the enemy rather well. Night Goblins as well starting to dart in there, trying to push them away. Looks like we have a large blast of something coming in. Not sure what that was. I could hear it in the distance. As the Savage Orcs do engage with the Blackhorn Ravagers and all the way along the front line. Chariots doing a good job of just pushing in and out. Oh, this is a real clutch play. So Effigy of the Git has gone down here by the Mighty Wurzag, stopping this Sun Manticore in its tracks, and of course the entire time it's not moving. It's a summon which is just getting wasted value. The Greenskins can now shoot up at it with their Goblin Wolf Chariots, try and rampage it into a bad target. In the front line, the Butchers of Kalkengard are doing their job. They're butchering these Savage Orcs down to the last Goblin, or Orc I suppose. Over here, nice flank overload from the Beastmen, who are starting to float and push around as much as possible. Flock of Doom has gone down. The Greenskin lines are kind of dangerously close to buckling at this point. Centaurs trying to catch the Goblin Wolf Riders, but they are very pesky vermin indeed, and now turn around and doing some really good damage into the lightly armoured Centaurs. We are going to be seeing a Fist of Gork go down on the Arachnoid Queen as she darts in, hunting down that Gorbel as quickly as possible, but she is surrounded now by the Butchers of Kalkengard. They can do a ton of damage, and throwing axes are in support. Goblin Wolf Chariots are kind of alone here in the midst of the enemy as Savage Orcs do break from the thunderous charges of some Centaurs and those pesky Ferromanticores. Summoned Chaos Spawn have gone down as well, going to help surround and really punish this Arachnoid Queen for daring to challenge such a mighty foe as the Gorbel. Although she's doing a decent job, doing massive damage to him, helped mainly by that Fist of Gork. Wurzag even getting in there doing the dirty as well. In the distance, you can see the Centaurs being out-skirmished here. These little goblins on their wolves, they all strike you, run away, and strike you again. That is their job. Centaurs have been forced off as well by Goblin Wolf Chariots, who need to get in here and shut down these Chaos Warhounds and try and help support. We do have Greenskins rallying to the cause. Savage Orcs are falling back towards the main battle line as the Spider now is starting to suffer a little bit. War has been popped, however. This is a Goblin Big Boss should just hop on the Shaman straight away. Wurzag is in there trying his best. They need stabbing popped on Murg of the Shadowgate. Arachnoid Spider is surrounded by a ton of summons as well as a regenerating Minotaur, so it's not going too good for her, unfortunately, although the Gorbel has taken consistent damage. Savage Orc Biggins are starting to come in for a rear attack here, although the second Chaos Spawn has gone down as well, which is scary stuff. Balance power is heavily in favour of the Beastmen at the time, but don't forget there's two spawns commonly on the battlefield, so that's going to be very heavily influenced, that balance power. So Goblin Wolf Chariots are being used in a sacrificial sense to try and pin in these Centaurs, allow the Goblin Wolf Riders to do the damage into them and hopefully break them off the field. And in the distance here we see more Centaurs are being kited, but the longer the kite game goes on, the more opportunity the Beastmen will have to mop up the central engagement, and it looks like that's just what they're doing. Oh no, Gorbel, keep up the fight. The Gorbel was doing a great job on Wurzag, in fact terrified him away, but decides to turn around and engage the Arachnoid Spider, also breaking that off the field, and I think that's going to be game. An ambitious effort though by Geese Howard, coming in with some really awesome units, and particularly Foot Wurzag there, who does have aspect of the Dread Knight popped on him, giving him terror and buffing his leadership, but the summons, the Gorbel, was too mighty. You don't mess with the Gorbel. And it looks like it's probably all over at this point. There is a bit of a rally from the Greenskin forces here, having won the mobility game, and that Giant Revelshore Hag is trying desperately to win the fight, but with the Arachnoid Queen probably getting chased off here, and Wurzag as well having to flee for his life, it is looking a little bad. As the Centaurs, good micromanagement here, is going to be dragging over here, and yeah, shattering Wurzag and army losses does kick in. Fantastic game. Fantastic stuff there. No, Geese is still part of the clan. He just likes to say hello. And DBD are kind of twin clans now, or like sister clans with Extreme Meme Team, hence the DBD/Extreme Meme Team stuff. Fantastic stuff though all round. Really ambitious build coming in by Geese Howard. Wurzag struggling a little bit to make his value back, although he did juke up that Arachnoid Spider, trying her best to take down the Minotaurs, but the Gorbel was too mighty. Big fan here of the Chariot play, pushing it into the enemy and allowing the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers to really kind of pack a punch. Pretty big damage across the board from them, but the front line just got absolutely stomped, and I think the main kind of takeaway of today's tournament all round is Centaurs. They're awesome. Take them. Morgan the Shadowgate struggled a little bit, but didn't need to get engaged in combat too much. It was really the Gorbel's job. Took a lot of damage, dealt a lot back as well. 2,500 is pretty impressive stuff. And this is a load of swarming basic troops, and Centaurs coming in with that shock damage to seal the deal. But you'll see across the board, nothing really performed crazily, apart from the Butchers of Kalkengard. 2k damage value and pretty much full health will certainly be a nail in the coffin of any Greenskin foe. See you around. Thank you. No worries. Thanks for the game. All good. And we're going to be hopping into our last game, guys. Arcadius and Arcadius. Awesome stuff. Skavens destroy humans. Yes, yes. Yeah, the Greenskins engage in piecemeal was tough. They had quite like a small force. It's going to be hard to try and whip it in. Yeah, Ronin MF Doom, my dude. That's why I was asking about the Doom thing. For those who don't know, MF Doom was an artist or a rapper who died, unfortunately, recently. And it's kind of like a legendary, quite unique and inspirational like person, to be honest. Made a load of like really creative music. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. So we have Stormrunner up next. Let's try and find his lobby of my blind little eyes. There we go. So, you guys... Oh, invalid password. No! Oh, maybe it just didn't do the full. I'll have to message them quickly and see what the password is. I'm just going to pop down to my Discord. Cool, we'll try all the basic passwords here. Assuming this is the right lobby. It's on the wrong map, but it's the same name as the player who's playing, I believe. Let's have a quick text, make sure I'm not missing anything. I think that is the lobby. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to write that down. Oh, of course, that doesn't matter. So there we go. And hopefully we should be in for the final game. So LP have claimed victory in the clan war, but will it be a Pyrrhic victory or a solid victory? We'll have to find out, as these final two competitors are going to be going head to head, if we do indeed load in here, which hopefully we should do. There is a free PS5 game tomorrow for those who have it on console. Which is the game? I actually have a PS4, not PS5 though. Skaven destroy, yes, yes. I could not agree more. Skaven are very scary. Skaven are scary indeed. Oh, for some reason, lobby might be bugged. I might have to message them to rehost in a second. If it doesn't load in. Oh, no, here we are. Hey, okay, it doesn't seem like we've got any lag. We're just waiting on the other caster as well. So I think the map is... Let me hop out quickly and have a little look. So the map definitely isn't Castle Drakenhof. It's Pillar of Bone. Map is Pillar of Bone. So we have Stormrunner up against, I apologise in advance for butchering this name. I don't even know how to start. Gnausenau. Gnausenau. There we go. But LP's legendary warrior here. I love his little sigil as well. It looks like it's the Medusa head. No worries. Cool, cool. So it'll be LP to pick and ban first. What did you do, Ducky? You broke it. I can't help it. I have just destructive powers. I used to actually have like real bad luck with computers, like super destructive at school. So I did like an ICT like BTEC at one point, and I made a slideshow for like a presentation, and every time you press to the next slide, it would shut down the entire computer. Like, no matter what computer we loaded up on, it would just shut down the computer when you tried to mix in slides. And my teachers also had no idea, like, what was going on. So it was like, oh, that's pretty bad. And then I managed to make a Microsoft Word page accidentally. it would like go along the line, like the text, and after a certain point it would dip down half a line and carry on again in like a weird wave. And again, no idea how he did it or how to correct it. Yes. Yep. So let's update the scoreboard here quickly. So a very well played to LP so far. There we go, for taking the victory. But will it be a 3-4 or will it be a 5-2? Only time shall tell. Very hotly contested clan war, which is the best way to go. They're incredibly close so far. Yeah, we need some more love from different Chaos Gods. I agree, Chosen of Corn. I'm assuming that's going to be more of a Game 3 situation, though, where we see them a lot. I think that's when we're going to see them quite a bit. Let's have another little sip of my drink to stay alive. Hey, and we have Dr. Vex in here as well. I think everyone's here. Yes, we're seeing Lizardmen! Krotgar may be answered, guys. We may get Krotgar. Unfortunately, no Skaven though there for Zachary. I'm sure he'll be very upset about it, as he is picking Lizardmen, banning Vampirates and Skaven, which is two very good bans. Vampirates in particular is the worst matchup by far for the Lizardmen. If you want to know how to deal with it though, feel free to check out my Lizardmen guide. I bring a rather interesting build up against Vampirates. And Skaven as well, a bit of a nuisance for them. No Dowie here though, as a counter pick, which is a little sad. I know we've got a lot of Dowie fans in chat. Generally on the channel we have quite a lot of Dowie fans, and I understand why. Dowie are freaking badass and awesome. But instead we are going to be getting more Dark Elf action. Stormrunner, a very good Dark Elf player, so it does make sense. And this matchup is, you know, it's a weird one. It's a very weird matchup all round. It's basically who wins the skirmish game a lot of time can win the end game all round. I think Dark Shards are actually better here though than going for the skirmish contingent, because Chameleon Skinks and Salamander hunting packs just wreck Dark Riders. So going for more of a foot force I think does work better up against the Dark Elves, despite the fact Big Dinos obviously can push through the ranks and run you over. Tic Tac is the only Lizardmen Lord. Yeah, so the rats can't catch him up in the skies. That sounds... Fancy gunman, that's me every single time anyone says anything. No clue what that means, but if it's a compliment, I'll take it gladly. So, pretty cool build so far from Stormrunner that I can see. Pillar Bone, pretty big open wide map as well. We do have some trees and some hilly terrain as well, so you can be a little bit tactical with it, but for a lot of the time the battle will be taking place in the big flat open, which is always a good way to cast such things. Dark Shard is really hard to make them work. If you make them work though, someone like Ice Power is really scary with them. Really scary stuff for sure. And this is going to be the final game, guys. So if you've been enjoying, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to subscribe and all that good stuff. You can join my Discord in the link down below to you know, check out when I'm going to be casting. Check out a load of cool guys and just have fun with them. And that sounds really dodgy. Check out a load of cool guys and have fun with them. I mean about Warhammer and play games and all that kind of good stuff. And you can also join tournaments and stuff via that Discord. The ultimate showdown. Stormrunner is going to be trying to scrap this one back, but is he going to be allowed to? I don't think LP are going to take their foot off the pedal just yet. Massive shout out as well, once again, as this is of course going to be the final game. If you guys could scream Park Map's name in chat, I would greatly appreciate it. He organised this entire clan war, so sorted out the matchups as well. So I'm actually doing the easy job here. I'm on the after bit now, just chilling, having a good time with you guys and casting some fun games. So make sure to scream at Park Map and tell him he's done a good job. You need to go heavy on Cav so you can ride down Skinks and hope you outrange the Lizards. That can work as well. I think getting a couple of units of Dark Riders can work pretty well. Cold War Knights are good as well. But the problem with Dark Riders with repeated crossbows is if they get like netted and a Salamander gets on them, they're just dead. They die so quickly. And they're relatively low armor, so Chameleon Skinks can do fine. But I do agree, the Lizardmen will try to just out-skirmish and out-shoot you in this matchup. Looks like the players are ready, so we're going to load in and then take away the screen blocker because I don't want the game to crash as we're trying to load in. Yes, park map, park map. I'm sure he appreciates it for his efforts. We will have future Clan Wars on the channel as well. I'm going to be trying to do maybe the next few of them, get a couple of different clans involved. I'm just going to take a little sip of my drink. Like, you know, I think we had an Extreme Meme Team versus ODM before, that type of stuff. Okay, let's get rid of the screen blocker. There we go, we're back in. And I'm also going to try and get DBD on some other people's channels. I need to message them about it. But wait, Stormrunner with the Dark Elf Legions, coming in with a load of bleak swords and dread spears in the front line. Cheap, cheerful chaff, just here to hold back the enemy, swarm them where possible, and be a general pest and nuisance. He has then gone incredibly heavy cavalry, so it looks like he is following your guys' advice. Double Dark Riders with repeater crossbows to apply some decent fast-moving AP damage, and then a load of Cold War Knights who will actually trade slightly less favourably than up against the enemy Cold War Knights, but still pretty decent, especially with support. We have a load of Dark Riders dotted in the front line, looking to try and counteract any skink skirmishers. Not a bad idea whatsoever. And we have a nice little core to the build as well. We have a Carabidus, something you don't see at all ever. And look at that glorious mouth. Who wouldn't love this little creature? We have a Sorcerer of Shadows in the back, Pendulum, Mind Rays, and Enfeebling Foe. Pendulum very good at getting rid of Saurus Warriors. Up in the skies, we have a High Beastmaster on Manticore, a lord you don't see terribly often. Coming in with Whiplash, Stand Your Ground, as well as the Tormentor Sword. And he's, of course, a Beast Slaver, so awesome stuff. Really fun build. I love the formation design as well. It looks quite cool. So, for the forces of the mighty Lizardmen, and I know my clanmate is technically Stormrunner here, but how can you root against the Dinos? A load of Chameleon Skinks dotted in the front line. Oh, mouth getting a little bit dry there. Which the Dark Riders probably going to be able to run over relatively quickly, but they're going to have to pull back. And they can pull back behind Skink cohorts with Javelins, who can apply some really nice damage onto the lightly armored Dark Riders from the off. We also have double Skink Chief here. 350 gold, these little fellas. Oh, sorry about that, guys. With a double little Skink Chiefs, who 350 gold can pack quite a decent punch, poison damage, and shooting high-valued pointy-eared Dark Elves over the course of a whole battle can really help them out. We have Saurus Warriors in a secondary line to make it a bit more meaty, as well as the cohort of Sotek, Saurus Spears, and Red-Crested Skinks, and a ton of Cold War Riders in the back line. I am liking the looks of this Lizardman build quite a lot. It's going to be a pain for the Dark Elves to really work through. We have Mazda Mundi as well on his mighty toilet seat here. He is the Lovecraftian creature of the gods, coming in with the Ruination of Cities, Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis, Curse of Midnight Wind, and Net of Amatok. Pretty much how I like to take him as well. Going to be a good fun game. This Lizardman army, I think, would suffer up against a more Bolt Thrower themed Dark Elf build, but of course they haven't brought them, so they can take big advantage of this. A hail of bullets does go into the Dark Riders, who are forced off and back to retreat. LM is OP units on multiplayer, Solar Engine, and Chameleon Skinks. I don't think Solar Engine is as OP as people make it out to be. I think it's good, but it does miss a lot of its shots. Anyway, Chameleon Skinks are shooting into Dread Spears, but I do like Lizardmen, by the way, obviously. I do think they're quite good on my player. Chameleon Skinks are getting a little over-eager here. Dark Rise starting to push in, but definitely need to fall back. And it looks like he managed to pull back one unit, but didn't click the other one. They are now falling back as well, because Cold War Spear Rise countering into them would have been really nasty. Instead, he's going to get a nice little isolation here instead. Dark Rise peppering them down, doing some nice long-range damage. And then their own Cold War Knights are going to come up and support. In the front line, the Dark Elves are trotting towards the Skinks, taking a load of javelins to the face, although Dark Riders are darting in now, going to be surrounding this Skink Chief and force him off the field, no doubt, if he stays in combat. But lovely, very quick instincts there by the Lizardmen. Red Crested Skinks going to be moving over here to help protect, and Cold Ones as well coming in. Dark Riders getting swarmed. It was a trap the Skink Chief led them into. Glorious play there by the Dinos. Dread Spears being played up, of course, by Saurus Warriors, but Bleak Sword's going to have a better time up against the Skink cohort. The big old fat, disgusting creature, and I'm not talking about Lord Mazdamundi, is trying to snipe Lord Mazdamundi here, who has been minus 42 melee attack and obviously cannot move, which is a big problem for him. And in comes the High Beastmaster, trying his best to drag him down. And yes, saw a Spearman at bonus versus large, but it's not fantastic, of course. The Cold One Spear Rise are starting to dart over to come and support us along the battle line. Dark Elves are starting to wreak havoc and starting to shut down the Chameleon Skinks, who are kind of getting slaughtered now, which is obviously not what they want. Dark Riders as well floating around that side. In comes the Cold One Spear Rise, and this is a very important engagement now. Bleak Swords desperately charking themselves in up against the Spearmen. Mazdamundi is trapped, but so is the High Beastmaster, as well as this Beastie, as the Cold Ones have managed to pin in all these troops. And all of a sudden, the High Beastmaster's morale is dropping quite heavily. Dark Rise darting over here. This Sorcerer needs to get in action. Drop Mind Rays on this Beastie, or like Pendulum, anything here to help support. Looks like Mazdamundi is going to be able to escape, though Apotheosis has been popped. And the entire time we've been viewing that battle, the left-hand side has crumbled for the Lizardmen. Dark Riders and Cold One Knights have flooded this left-hand flank. You can see the Lizardmen cavalry is rampaging, and Chameleon Skinks being run down in their droves. We do have a big fat Curse of the Midnight Wind going down, which is really going to help support these Cold One Spear Riders, as well as the Spearmen, doing a fantastic job here picking apart these characters. But the Beastmaster lashes out ferociously with a lovely attack animation, hops on top of Mazdamundi, who's going to want to run for his life. The Sorcerer just chilling out in the middle here. Red Crested Skink, so maybe able to surround her if Stormrunner isn't careful. In the distance, one of the Skink Chiefs has been flattened by Dark Riders. In the distance, Bleak Swords as well up against Red Crested Skink Chiefs isn't going to be too favorable for either one of them. Apotheosis once again goes down on Lord Mazdamundi, but he's in big trouble here as the Dark Elf hero, well, Lord, as well as the Beast Corps, coming in and doing massive damage to the Beastmaster, taming his beast to go after Mazdamundi, doing huge damage. Melkov's Mystifying Miasma has been popped on him as well to slow him down. Beastmaster wants to come over here and just finish him off for good. Skink Chief, though, will try to rally the cause, and there's still a ton of Chameleon Skinks alive and active. Of course, Stormrunner is trying to micro so much in the centre. The Cold One Knights were a little bit idle just for a few small seconds, and now going to hop on top of the Chameleons and start running them down. And this is looking very bleak for the forces of the Lizardmen if they lose Lord Mazdamundi. Still a ton of Skink cohorts, though, who can, of course, throw javelins in and do massive work to the Beastmaster if he's not careful. And the Cabradis is also getting run down here. Saurus Spearman, he's sending this game a little bit too long. Of course, these guys do not have regeneration like their Hydra brethren, so definitely wants to pull out of this engagement. Actually, the Lizardmen not looking too bad now. It looked really bad for a second, but they seem to rally it to the cause. Lord Mazdamundi has gone down. The High Beastmaster can now go snipe the Skink Chief, especially with the support of the Cold One Knights, who can kind of countercharge the enemy here. Very ferocious game, but the Lizardmen Infantry Corps is kind of rallying at this moment. We have Red Crested Skinks Chiefs, Red Crested Skinks, sorry, not Chiefs. We have Saurus Warriors, we have Skink Cohorts, all in a big old blob, driving back here the mighty creature of darkness. And I do not believe this guy has regeneration. No, does not look like it. He does, of course, come in with a Abyssal Howl, though, for -8 leadership, which would be really nice in the late game. And it looks like the Cold One Spear is desperately trying to chase it down, but this is huge right now for the force of the Dark Elves. He still has 2 units of Dark Rise active, going to be shooting into the Cold One Spear Riders, dragging them out of position, forcing them to engage, otherwise they're going to sit back and take shots. And in that High Beastmaster, who's currently stalking them, can float in, do some damage. It looks like the Dread Spears are going to be committed as well to the Skink Cohort to hold them back and try and rescue the big beastie. High Master could probably dart down at this point and break the leadership, and he is going to. Lovely late game management there by Stormrunner. However, the Cold One Knights have been led into a trap once again by this pesky Skink Chief. He's a crafty fellow, really well played by the Lizardman player, pulling him through and into the Saurus Spearman. Ton of Saurus and Skinks do still operate on the battlefield, but unfortunately for them, if his kind of more elite units, the Knights and so forth, do get driven off here, then all of a sudden he might not have any anti-large left to take down the enemy. High Beastmaster is bounding forward, desperately trying to hunt down the Cold One Spear Riders, who are falling back towards friendly territory. It looks like he's going to give up the chase, get in the sky, and then go back to support the Dark Riders, who are currently peppering down one of the healthier units of Saurus Warriors. Again, hunting down the Spearmen could be a good boon, but there's a lot of Saurus left on the field. High Beastmaster going in balls deep here, attacking at the enemy. Co-op Sotek are here though, and they're unbreakable, so might be able to pin him in. Red Crested Skinks as well doing a fantastic job, and if the Cold One Spear Riders can hold their leadership, perhaps there was a good chance for them, but it looks like it was a bit of a bait. So a big pendulum comes in, clawing its way through a lot of those troops. High Beastmaster now can stand and fight, as his fellow beastie is here. Dark Riders unleashing hell upon the Saurus Warriors from afar, and there's just simply nothing that can catch these guys at the moment. Popping out some Chameleon Skinks may be worth it, but at the same time, going after the High Beastmaster would be a good idea as well. He doesn't have the biggest armor pool, and looks like a little bit of lag here, but hopefully it will stabilize in just a second. Good luck, have fun from both players is what they were saying. Rip Mr. Frogman, indeed. Welcome, Zach. Welcome back, man. It looks like it's going to be the last game here, and it's a comeback upon a comeback upon a comeback. It's really hard to tell who's going to win this. Balance power is currently in favour of the Dark Elves, which is Stormrunner, by the way, for those who have joined late. And he's doing a really good job puncturing the Saurus Warriors' fixed hide. Chameleon Skinks, though, have got a really lovely engagement. Dark Riders having to dart in, chase them away. But again, they don't want to engage in this for too long. Good micro by both players there. High Beastmaster has managed to break the skink cohorts. Unfortunately, his little friend here keeps on wavering health-wise, which is no good. Dark Rise do now dart in to try and finish off the cohort of Sotek. Of course, they're unbreakable though, and they're going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. There's just so many lizardmen left on the field. I think it could come down to, can they tear out them off, and can we get any big pendulums from this sorcerer? If not, this lizardman corps will probably win the day, as ammunition starting to run a little low from the Dark Riders. We're currently focusing down at the Saurus Warriors. Not a bad idea at all. They are kind of one of the biggest grinders here left in this force, but at the same time, I'd probably get the Spearmen offline, as they can threaten some of the larger targets. Nice cinematic slow-mo shot here of the last charge here. And it looks like a lot of javelins are going to be coming in. Blow darts as well are going to be able to force off the Cabradus, and it's probably doomed at this moment. In comes the High Beastmaster, surrounded by enemies, and this is certainly a bait. I'm 99% sure there's going to be a pendulum here, and it looks like the Lizardmen aren't going to take the bait this time, not charging with all their friends, although a Tormentor Sword has gone down, and a pendulum. I was right, and these skink cohorts might get caught in it as well. That could be a disaster. Ooh. Some of them get clipped there, and all of a sudden, those two skink units are probably going to break from the field. Chameleon Skinks getting shut down. Skink Chief is now up against a far more powerful foe than himself, but Saurus Warriors rallying to the cause. We are going to see an enfeebling foe popped on the Spearmen, and the Beastmaster is going to stand and fight this. Sorcerer probably even wants to get engaged in combat at this moment. Look how many Lizardmen troops are fleeing for their lives. Balance of power getting very close to army losses as well. Glorious trap there from Stormrunner, and it looks like it is game over. The Skink Chief is terrified. Saurus Warriors running away, and there's a lot of Dark Riders left to chase off a lot of these routing troops to try and stop them from coming back. You can even see Crossbowmen targeting back the rallying troops. Amazing stuff by both players. That was a fantastic game, and all the games today have been, yeah, legendary is the best way to put it. This is probably the coolest faction war we've had. I probably said that every faction war because we have so many good ones, but this was some special stuff for sure. And it looks like Stormrunner is going to be claiming victory there. Very well played to both sides in the clan war. Yes, the terror out. That terror out was nasty. Yeah, the Tormentor Sword, followed up by that Pendulum. My god. So you can see the Sorcerer of Shadow not doing crazy damage value or anything, but 5,000 damage dealt is really clutch. And the High Beastmaster, good pick here. 2,700 damage value, 10,000 damage dealt is scary for sure. Now, the Dark Riders, I was kind of back-talking them a little bit earlier on in this matchup, but they can certainly pack a punch as well with good micro, and Stormrunner certainly have that. Cold One Knights as well, helping to counterpunch the enemy cavalry. Unfortunately, our big friend here did struggle a little bit, was surrounded by Spearmen a lot of the time, but still helped snipe out Mazdamundi, which was key. No magical assistance on the field during the mid to late stages of the battle really hindered the Lizardmen, and if Mazdamundi had survived, it could have been a different story. Even just shielded the old ones and banishments going down. I don't think we saw any shields or banishments or ruination of cities, any of that kind of stuff, which really did unfortunately cost the Lizardmen here. But still, apart from that, a fantastic scrap back, nearly a beautiful comeback after that mid stage where it looked really bad. Skink Chiefs, one of them suffering, but the other one getting some good value, and then it was just a block of angry Saurus tearing their way through the Dark Elf force. Good micromanagement as well of the Chameleon Skinks. I love the trap play, pulling in Dark Riders to the Skink Chief and then swarming them with his cavalry. Was, yeah, really good Lizardmen play to see. So well played to both of these champs. Let's update the scoreboard here. So it is going to be a Pyrrhic victory for LP, despite the last kind of ditch efforts there from Stormrunner. It is going to be 4-3 to the legendary Italian clan. Glorious stuff. GG. Thanks for playing. So massive shout out to all the players for playing today. I should have lost that 3 times over. Oh no, you did a pretty good job, Stormrunner. How did I do that? Looks he's like a little bit surprised, but I think that was some good play all round. But massive shout out to Clan LP for coming in here and playing up against us, as well as DBD there, and all the players who did perform today. Massive shout out to you guys for tuning in. We've seen some crazy games. If you've joined late, I highly recommend going back and checking them out. Every game was just an absolute nail-biter. Brilliant stuff. Once more, shout out to ParkMap as well for organising this event. If you guys did enjoy, feel free to give the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe for more Total War Warhammer content. Right, we're up. The Hydra monster's new name is Cuddles. I will stick with that. So Cuddles the monster. He just wanted to have fun, but everyone kept throwing javelins at him and being angry. But I like Cuddles. Cuddles is a cool dude. Thank guys, and thanks to LP and DBD for being easy to work with. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks for the wonderful event. That was amazing, guys. That was awesome. So before you guys do leave, there's going to be another stream tomorrow and a tournament. For more information, join the Discord down below. But I'm just going to quickly check to see if any other Total War YouTubers are streaming, and then I will send you their way, and you can stream Quack at them. So it looks like Turin is indeed streaming right now, guys. So I'm sure you all know who Turin is, but let me link the thing. So feel free to hop over here and yell Quack at him as much as possible. So, oh god. My chat's I'm gonna have to wait for the chat to get to the bottom because it's going crazy. It's going crazy. Okay. There we go. Cool. So it's going crazy on my phone. So this is a link to Turin's stream. He is currently live streaming a tournament event, it would seem. Feel free to hop over there, yell Quack at him, tell him I sent you his way as well. Love you, Ducky. Turin is streaming right now. Yes, so we'll send you over to him. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, you guys are the real MVPs as well. Huge heroes. Love to see you guys in chat. And as always, I really appreciate the support. It's always good to see, and it really keeps me going as well on this YouTube grind. I don't know, Cuddles seems kind of shifty. Cuddles is fine. It does kind of probably drool on you quite a lot. No worries, Emmanuel. Thank you for tuning in as always. Always good to see your face here. So he says, thanks for streaming, Duck. Good night. I'm going to go eat a bucket ton of food. Thanks for the stream, Duck. No worries, Raptor. Peace out, guys. And as always, until next time, peace, and stay awesome.